Alex, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm very early, but why not? Ugh. Cool. Loud and clear is a good thing. Thanks for hopping on early. I don't even have Anna here, so yeah, that's what I figured. So, hey, Lord Forth. I figured I'd come on early, talk some Altimira since they're running in it. You know, I think I can do that for a little bit here. Let me check on him. Hey, my wife. You may hear some background noise. That's just me, just listening on John's right now where the ads are going. Everyone is well tonight. We're getting rolling. Sorry about the reverb if there's any. Alright, he's reading in. Awesome. I'll forego the ads, everyone. Hi, how are you all doing? I'm by myself because I'm so early, but thanks for coming on. Hope you had a great show there. John did some wonderful things with my Altimira, and really excited about all the wonderful work that he's done, also with what is to come. With Altimira, so I figured I'd hop on a little early. It's good to see you all. Good to see everyone. I am guestless. Anna's not even on yet, so because I went on 30 minutes early, just to catch everyone and just chat. I'm doing good. Can you hear me loud and clear? Hopefully everything's going well, and thank you. So what I'm going to do for any of you who are interested is, as tonight's chat is on classic RPG PC games. We're still going to do that, but I'm going to throw out some history here. Some early history of Altimira, and then you guys can ask questions as we go. Oh, my wife doesn't even realize I'm on right now. Oh, yeah. I had it. One sec. I check in the bathroom. I took the TV remote when I was running around to get ready, and I don't know where I left it. So she's like, yeah. So I may have to go find that real quick, but because I know I had it. I know I had it somewhere. You found it? Yeah. I was running around getting ready, and I ran upstairs with the remote in my hand. Oh my gosh. So I'm always looking out for Anna here. Blank above, Anna's not here. So 1987. All right. And I'll tell a little story here for all of you who are new. And thank you all for coming on. Oh, let me, good to see you all. Let me do this. We got a special giveaway tonight. Now, if you're not here till the end, I understand that. That's because we'd be finished around 9 Eastern. But George Lexfire is doing it. We're doing a special community giveaway. Now, for some reason I can't get this damn thing to straighten out on tonight. I can't. It just won't work. Let me see if I put it on here. All right, there we go. So George's wife makes these. So we're gonna do this. This is like a coaster mug set with cool dice on it tonight, and we'll do that anywhere in the continental U.S. If you're outside, you win. I promise you an equal like Reaper Troller Game gift certificates as well. We'll figure something out if you're outside. But yeah, this is really a cool thing from George. You know him as Lexfire. I'm really excited about it. It's really a neat thing, and it looks like a fairly large mug too. So tonight's a good night to do it. Hey, yeah, Taryn, absolutely. So good to see you. Let me shout out John. I'm sorry, I'm a little frazzled here. Like I said, I lost our TV remote getting ready early. So that and John, thank you for. Hey, good to see everyone. So 1987 rolls around and we're playing, and the campaign's only 7 years old, and my buddy Marco, who is from the area, but he's a few years younger than us, spends the summer with his sister, who lives in Fairfax, Virginia, because she was stationed in the military at the time with her husband, and we take a road trip down to Fairfax, Virginia. John, thanks, John. Telling a little story I don't know if I've ever told on how Altimira came about and how this crappy map I have here is going to turn into something really cool. So, and like I said, above me is a blank Anna right now. But you know what? I'll throw up something here to cover it for the time being. Here, I'll throw this up. I'll throw up what I'm doing Saturday night for the fundraiser, puppets and then some, for Saturday night during the fundraiser. I'll cover that for the time being. Ed Greenwood, Luke Gygax, Eric Mona, Darling Creep Show, Stephen Chenault, Little Bones 309, and maybe one other person in there. And I tried to spread them out amongst other streams, but they're like, we want to play in that game. I'm like, I can't say no to them. I can't say, well, you're going to go into another stream, but it'll be a fun time. It really will. All right, it's 1987. We take a road trip down. It's myself. It's Tom, who you know. It's Walt, Tim, and myself. We go down to Fairfax, Virginia. We spend the weekend down there with Mark and his sister and brother-in-law. Right outside DC. So, yeah, that's cool, Obsidian. I don't know. You couldn't. It's so long ago. You couldn't tell me where. I have no idea where. We're in Fairfax, but we're finishing up the first time we ever did Temple of Mental Evil that weekend. The final level, we're down there, and we're finishing that up. So we do that first, and a lot of characters end up joining the Order of Ulick, and this is so early that I think the character numbers in joining the Order are like in the 60s, and we're like at 250, 260, whatever we are now, but 60s. And that was adventure number one. Then we go out, and I don't know if you ever heard this story either, but we go out to a supermarket, and we're all shocked that you can buy beer in a supermarket, because in Jersey you can't do that. And Tom, showing his age, is the only one who's 21. So Tom goes out and buys all this beer. I mean, we got these Foster's. Remember the big Foster's cans, Foster's lagers? I get Kirin Ichiban. We get all this stuff. And we're just having fun drinking and playing D&D. And then so Tim runs his second game, where he has the illusions of the dragon head trap. He always does, and everyone in the party dies. Oh, there we are. It's Australian for beer, mate. Yes, there's Tim. I'm telling the story where you killed everyone, but Gazumba and fencing. First round, they both heads breathe. Everyone fails their save except for Gazumba, and I PC'd him whenever I played Hawk and Gazumba, and when Tim DM'd, and he kills everyone in the party, and it's a cluster, but we get through it somehow, and that was a fun, and that's game two. And then I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? We got time. We're around a third game over this weekend, this massive weekend. And I say to myself, and I'm going to throw up a map here. Hopefully, I'm going to throw up the full World of Greyhawk map, but it's gonna not. It never had any of this stuff. And remember, this is so early that Anna Meyer is not doing this at the time. So we had the Darlene map, and I wonder if I have a Darlene map full. Let me do this. Let me type in Darlene. I may have the Darlene map here. Yeah, I do. Okay. So here's the Darlene map. Okay. We weren't, but Tom, I was like, so it's 80, it's 87. So I am 19 or I'm 20. Tom's 21. Lord Fourth, good question. Tom's 21. He's the only one. It's Tom's a year older than me. So Tom, yeah, yes, I know, Tim. Yes, you did. And see, look, I have Tim here on here to verify this story's not bullshit. So, and there we go. So, feel free to continue with signing up for that great giveaway. And if we do some massive hype train, I'll add something in too. Hey, Doc Jock, good to see you. So we're there. It's the third adventure. And by the way, we're having a fun time. Everyone's all fired up. It was great. If you know my campaign, the Order of Ulick is down here, right down in this area, and I don't know if I can find that map. I'm really pushing my luck here, searching for stuff last second. But let me take a look. There's Celine. I should have it here. All right, I do. Okay. This is my attempt in the who knows when 80s and 90s to use Corel Draw. Wales Castle, the first Order of Ulick keep, and as you can see, I edited it out, made some cleaning up to it. Yeah, this is you have your outposts. Some of these keeps weren't even here at this time. The Watchers Towers were just done. Outpost 1, and then all the way up here in this area, and we'll blow this up and show you that's where Altimira went in here, and that is right smack dab here, right? So I say, hey, the County of Ulick is offering, and this I did this on the spot, right? So I call it land clearing or something like that. Founding of the Cavalier School. So we take all of our characters, and back then, remember, Ars Arcana, Cavaliers were the thing. So we had 3 Cavaliers and some other characters. They go up there and they're going to clear the land here to found three keeps. They're going to put 3 fortresses up there to protect the trade routes from Selene down through the Principality of Ulick. And that was the whole idea, because you got this forest here, / Twilight Forest in Altimira, right? I mean, in Arid coming. So that was the whole gist of the story. And what happened is there's a bad guy, and this is another funny thing that Tim will verify. There's a bad guy. His name was named Makarash, the Elf Mauler, and he always was a thorn in the side in the 80s. He was like one of the first antitheses in the campaign. So he shows up and causes trouble in the fight. Remember, this is one of those, you ever run a game and you just don't know what you're going to do and you don't know where it's going to go? Chav, I think you're in, but let me check. This was one of those games. Chav, did you put it in wrong? It's exclamation drawing, Chav, that's why. Yeah, put an exclamation drawing. This was one of those games where just I had to make up stuff as I went. So Makarash shows up with a lot of his minions, who I had them done, and there's a big fight that goes on. They're going to clear this land, take this. There's some baddies, some monsters. They got to clear out the area, and they're going to be deeded this land, which is technically in the County of Ulick, to build these keeps. And we have one of the greatest critical hits ever in the game. Makarash has a long sword of sharpness, and Tim's character Murdoch the Mighty was fighting him. I rolled a critical hit, so automatically 1 limb's off. It's right arm, right leg, or even head. You could decapitate, 1 in 5 chance, right? And then I roll another critical hit. So I roll his right arm, and then his left leg are cut off. So we're trying to figure out how that happened. So it's like something like this. He's got his arm out and he's got his leg out. So he cut the right arm and the left leg at the same time on a critical hit. It was momentous. It was one of those fun things that happen on the spur when you're just gaming. So, but they eventually run Macrash off, and he always got away at that time, and they started forming the land around here, which then entailed the following: 3 keeps are built. One in the form of a pyramid, and that's Elijah Winchester's keep. One in the form of a standard rectangular keep. Oh, because we're just battling here, Troy. I came on to take in the blue box raid because of their aired Altimira game. I'm just explaining how Altimira was founded. So I'm not even getting into the RPG stuff yet. So yep, that's all. That's all good. It's all good. And look, no Anna. Anna's not on yet, so it's all cool, Troy. Britta Mart's keep. By the way, you'll see Britta Mart Thursday night before the fundraiser starts. Actually, wow, man, so much is tying in tonight. So, did you find it? All right, she found it. We have an open game on Thursday that we're going to kick off the fundraiser. So the fundraiser starts Friday morning, but we already have donations, and we already have like $140, and thank you. So, Troy, thanks, man. Thank you so very much. Now I'll be covered for 5. Woohoo! So I can do all these dances. You don't see me. But this is Greyhawk Old School High Level Adventure number 989. We're getting close to 1,000. Like I said, you guys can play whoever you want. Okay, whatever level, I don't care. Yeah, she could have. I was running around like a nut. Adventure number 989, Revenge is the name of it. I don't want to give anything away. Tim, hopefully playing in it. The whole crew. 1 character each, super high level. He gets to play at Britta Mart. She's 16th level Cavalier now. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way when you randomize it, Troy. That's pretty funny, though. So, let me check. Chav, let me check. I don't see you in the list. Exclamation drawing. I don't see you in this list here. Are you following? Yeah, you're following. It's weird. Just exclamation drawing. Exclamation drawing. That's strange. Maybe it won't let you if you copy. Try it again. Type in exclamation drawing. Because I look at the list here and I see Lucitos, Lando, Mystical, Captain, Minor, Bigo, Lord for BB. So, yeah, see, look, he just, Antiquitous just did it. So, Obsidian just did it. The D has to be, no, it does not. There you go. There you go. We're good. Doesn't have to be caps. Awesome. So he's playing Britta Mart. And I actually have the sheet right here. I know I'm going all over the place. This is what happens when I go off script. Maybe not. '16th level Cavalier. It doesn't get much higher in my campaign. All right. Gray Elf, female, category Cavalier. 16th. Now, if Tim plays, he's playing someone who's 2 levels higher. But that'll be the kickoff event to the fundraiser that Thursday night before, and we'll have some fun, and we'll raise money that night too. So, yeah, there's a script of some sort. The third one is Tim's character, Sir Rastus, has a circular tower. And the 3 towers were formed, and we figured you have a human, lawful good character, a full elven, chaotic good, half elven, neutral good. You got all the bases covered, all members of the Order of Ulick, and this is going to be where the Cavaliers go to train. So the first thing, BB, 16th. So some characters are 10th, 11th too. It's going to be a huge mix. It's just going to be a one shot. It's a one shot for a week from Thursday. We're going to have fun with it though. We're going to kick some butt. So from that, over the years, we're like, why don't we have a wall around this? So a wall's built. Mark's character, Mark didn't have a character in it. Mark has Swain, his fighter cleric mage of Alana. He's like, I want to put a, as you get to a certain level in old school, 9th level, you can get followers. I want to put a clerical keep to Alana in there. And by the way, this is one of our first, if you haven't seen this, it's beautiful. It's been on my table a lot. This is build in craft this was I paid for this. It's got to be 15 years ago at least. and that's this. This is the Tower of Alana. We got that as a custom craft done with yeah. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful. As you can just see the level of detail. Yeah, I mean, and this was Stellarian Games did it, but I mean, he didn't charge us anywhere near enough to do this. I mean, I can't even imagine the hours it took him to make this piece, but we got it, and we've loved it ever since. And it's a mainstay in the center-free city of Altimira. As you can see, Swain's Tower. And look, I am no artistic genius. Let me tell you something. So yeah, so that stuff started building up, and then we're like, well, this place is not protected, and it's right on the sus. We should have a wall. And then the entire circular, for the most part, wall went around it, and it doesn't say. I can't look it up. It says content's not available on that link. Greenleaf. It's not letting me look at it. So yeah, and that took in game time, even with layers of building and stuff. We said 3 to 5 years of building this wall around, because the wall is, it's got battlements, it's got defensive, it's wide. Also, another keep got built. Alan's character Arcturus, as Archer Cleric, has an archery school here, so he's got a smaller tower here. And then things just started building around it. And I have listings of and a folder which has all of the Altimira information here with all my stuff as I'm working on getting it written up. So the locations you saw in Blue Box's game are the clubfoot, right? I don't know if you went to the Spiked Mallet. That's another one. The Tickling Feather. Well, that actually comes from another town, but we got to put that in there. Theo's Blowworks, Hoops' Fruit Market, the Bobette Rooming House. They're all locations from my campaign going back to the 80s, late 80s. So I was really honored that John, did that. Really was a nice gesture for John to do that for me. And I really thank him, because some notes would be taken and added, and I don't mind adding what other people have done. So I'm collecting ideas from my players now to add into the Free City as well. So and we're continuing to move forward with this. It's developed right over time. When 3D printing came out, then the game changed. Then it changed, because then, with Miniature Building Authority in early 2000s, we could do some of the buildings, but not all the buildings. Didn't have roads yet, and then I got roads when Jeremy from Gamescape 3D brought out his great road system. And by the way, we're going to give away some of those road systems as complimentary gifts, STLs, during the fundraiser as well. And it just, things started coming together. So if we go to the joust from last year, this is, and I'll show you some of the pictures. This is downtown. So there's the Temple of Alana, right? Hoops you got the Temple of Alana here, which is the center of town. Hoops' fruit stand. You got the main strip running down here. Other buildings. You got the Night Watch building down in the end. City Guard, Night Watch. It's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful fundraiser. And this is our 5th year of doing it, so we're really excited. You got all sorts of children in town and all, and I got I'm glad. One thing I'm so glad is I take a lot of pictures. This is the jousting field. Hey, Lady Gwen, you got your jousting field set up. This is all Bill and Master Crafter. You'll see this on Wednesday night when Bill talks about the stuff he did. So Jeremy, we asked Jeremy from Gamescape 3D. Said, Jeremy, we don't have tilt wall. We don't have a jousting field set up. Can you make the walls for us? So he made all the walls, and then Bill took them and built this jousting field. All the banners are custom, and look, you even have the dirt hoof prints in here. Let's see if I got a close up, and you'll see these again on Wednesday. But yeah, see, it's even got the which is a really neat thing. And it's a combination, just like anything. It's a combination of 3D prints. It's a combination of certain, miniatures and custom crafts, and that, so. They are, and I don't have them I don't have them going back to the 80s and 90s. I barely have anything from those days, and it's a shame. But, you have what you have. So this is the Altimira background. Now the funny thing is that I only have so much room on the table, right? So when you go to this, and then we go to the Grand Melee, you'll notice that the Grand Melee field and the jousting field are in the same spot, but I don't have much of a choice. I don't know if I see a picture, you can see it. This is another thing you'll see. Yep. So, and here's the Grand Melee field. Um, Now, my games Thursday night or the fundraiser, and probably Saturday night with all the special guests will probably be here. If we had those pictures, we could see how much thinner we were. Yes, that's funny, Tim. I know. I know. I got to get back on the hardcore. My hip's been killing me though. So there's the Grand Melee field, which will and once again that's an Infinite Dimensions print that Bill's printed up here, and you can see some of the level of detail of like the side of it and all the characters, and it just so there's a lot of depth into Altimira. I know John kept to a small amount of it, and but it was just really cool to see him put it all together. And there's a lot of locations. There's a lot of intrigue. I don't know how much he got into the boogeyman of Altimira, but that's a story that goes back way back into you know early on, and that involves a player character. Yeah, something that's funny. So, and my locations are all just done up, or they're just done up and written up, and just like normal chicken scratch notes, which are no good for publications. That's the thing about DMing, about running a game. You have your own notation, the way you DM and the way you write something down. That doesn't make a good publication, and then you got to convert it into yeah. Well, Puppets and Then Some is going to take it one step further. BB, just wait and see. It's going to be exciting. So let me see what else I have here. So I have this is the Mega Patrol house. Yeah, okay. Let me do this. So we have some areas mapped out. This is the adventuring. This is the adventuring. Of course, it's going to be sideways. This is the adventuring group that Mega Patrol, which is one of the higher level. I didn't name it. It's a terrible name, Tim. But this is their. They took a warehouse. Thanks, Alcimane. They took a warehouse and they converted it over, and this shows some of the internal workings of it. It's 2 stories, where whose rooms are where of the group. Yeah. So and this is a mercenary group here. They hired a sentinel to defend the place. That's an NPC class out of the Dragon magazine. Yeah, and then they got meeting rooms down low, and artsy fartsy stuff, and some storage areas, and yeah. So in case you want to summon something, right? And this was done up by Tim. Actually, Tim's dad, John, did this all up. So pretty neat stuff. Let me see what else I got here. Boyd's house. Yeah, Walt's done up. The last patrol you'll ever need. Yes, Walt's done up some neat stuff here. Walt's done up showing his character Boyd's house. Let's see what else. The Guild of Magic. Some of these we can't use because they're taken from other publications, right? But these are ideas. So we have this is the actual guild. This is the Magic Users Guild building. All right. So we can't use this. We'll have to make up our own if we want to publish it. All right. Hey, Mike. I'm just babbling about Altimira beforehand. Catch the Blue Box raid in and just chat a little bit and explain. And so they were running in Altimira, just explaining a little bit of the background on it. Ambrel's estate. There's another location. Ambrel's a fighter mage. Her location's in the estate. See, like ballroom. Open a ballroom. So maps are done, which is cool. Lighthouse Keep. All right. This is actually what we were using for the archery tower, because we figured that was against the wall, near the wall, and that made total sense to utilize that, and that was perfect for it. So that was what we were using. Once again, we're not we're using this all for personal use, not for republication, right? So here, let me do this. I don't know if this is old. All right. So this, I don't know if we got how much you got into this. I think you all met Catherine von Papen in that game. I think. So she's in the Night Stalkers. Here are the listing of all the mercenary groups rated by notoriety, just like in Greyhawk. And you can see this is actually a year or two old because Slav Squad's moved up. And that's the all-female cast with plus Josh. Here's 2 drink minimum at Greenwood. And then these are player character group, player character group, player character group, player character group. Same. Fighters Light and Altimira are not, and the Altimira Enforcers are not. These are all the other groups are groups of player characters. So we have a lot of them out of here. So if you met Catherine, the kids, she's in the Night Stalkers. Yep. So just to show you how many different groups there are in Altimira that we use for adventuring. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Oh, this is the Temple of Clangeddon that Walt was working on. Clangeddon Silverbeard. There's one in the northern part in the Dwarven Quarter. If I have that here still, let me take a look. Showing the different areas of how the city is broken down. The Dwarven Quarters in the northeast, the residential north side. Temple Row runs here, right? Runs down. Government and residences east side. Merchant Way runs almost at a curve. So right about here, right about there is where your jousting field and your arena is, right in this area here. And you have your estates, training fields here. You guys, I think we're venturing mostly in this area, the low quarter and the squatters' campment. Yeah, so because there's a lot of refugees, there's a lot of people that are down their luck, and that's the area that has been reserved for them. It's not a perfect circle, and I'll show you how we know that. We know that because of the following. Anna's been really hard at work with stuff, and I'm going to go to, here comes Anna. So now I can erase this, remove this. Admit. Coffee's getting cold. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Too small for comfort. Hey, there are halflings have a big place. Anna, I'm already
Hello.
live. We're already live.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm late.
No,
We
you're
had a
not late.
Small garden emergency, and
No, we're talking.
Yep.
So I'm going over like how Altimira got formed in 1987. So
Okay.
just before, because John finished up his kids game in Altimira, and I wanted to go over some of the stuff just to make the connection.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
but are you doing okay? Things are going well.
Well, yeah, we had to cancel our game because we had 2 people that couldn't make it, so we were short on players. But that was last minute, dude.
So Anna, I got a question for you, and that is,
Okay.
if I go to, I can't remember, go to episode 19, and do you remember what numbers were Altimira? Was it 1 through 6 of pictures? Like if I put this up, will you remember?
Oh yeah, that's Altimira. Yeah, it's the concept, early concept stuff.
Right. I caught you right. I caught you off guard here. So early concepts of the terrain and topography.
Yeah, that is actually the shield lens, but it works as a concept. Yeah, it works as a concept. So,
one of
yeah,
these
definitely.
I think had the location on it where the mound was. I don't remember which one it was.
They are actually in they're all from the area around around Altimira. Yeah, so they're all
okay.
Yeah, this one too. Yeah.
So these are high up, looking down on the terrain.
Oh yeah.
As Anna,
yep. I've just parts of the terrain map. So yep. And these are raw renders. I haven't done any photo editing or anything. These are just fresh from World Machines. So they have not edited no vegetation, no fancy stuff.
So we're looking at what Anna's doing very early on, and we're going to get some really great stuff from her. We're going to get some really great layouts, and then the city's going to be placed on a spot. And I was just looking for one to show where that city was placed. I don't know if any of these.
You have one of the earlier ones that we have from there.
Yeah,
so,
I do. I do from
the same.
I do from in this batch here or from last month.
Oh, last month too. Let me
go to last month's. Let me go to episode 18.
I've been staring at so much of my terrain now, so I can. This an earlier batch, but it's showing this is not even textured. This is just shading and splat map. So that's crappy compared to
this one has it. Okay.
This one
right here,
also,
right? Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. There is it. But and this is also not even textured. This is pre-rendered. It's just looking at it in World Machine. I haven't even rendered it.
Yep. Kumquats forever, Norka. You got it. So this is going on a plateau, so it's going to have some elevation. This is a lot higher than it looks, and it's not completely going to be circular. But
no, it's roughly circular, and then a little bit here and there. Yeah,
roughly circular. So, and note that this is going. And here's the Jewel River, which will be split over, and then it'll be split aired. It pops into aired easily where we set it up, and that's a great thing for changing and putting it into air.
Going to log into Twitch here, so
yeah, no problem. I think this is it from another angle. Yeah, this is it. So this is the Altimira area right
there
here.
You go.
That's where the city will be on this rough map as Anna's working on it. So yep, absolutely, Norker, you got it. And that's some neat stuff as rendering. And what's cool is we think that like as you go up into this will be almost like a mountain pass heading up here. And we're going to put some higher end like estates up here, I think, outside the town, outside the city.
That's up to you where you want people to live. So when you have the terrain, you can put all the little pieces in where you want them, so to speak.
So that'll be a lot of fun. But so note that it's come a long way since 1987, and about a year ago, Chuck and Steven, it was at GaryCon last year. We had our first meeting. What's the scale on this map, Anna?
The scale of that map, that roughly that around there is 1 mile across. Where Altimira, that plateau there is roughly 1 mile across.
So this across is what, 20?
No, probably more like 10.
10? Okay.
10. Yeah, there's like 5 in each direction, roughly 5 to 6, 7. It's difficult because you're not looking straight down. So the further up in the picture, the more area you see. So that way the perspective is weird because it's like you're an airplane and you're looking 45 degrees down. And that means that when you look straight down, 1 mile covers a lot of terrain, but out towards the horizon is just a tiny little bit.
So it's exciting, and we're working toward everything for an end of the summer Kickstarter. And to cap off at 6:40. Look at that. We almost be going.
Hello, something incarnate. I love your handle there. Is awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect for the map makers there. Let's see. Let me go back to the Altimira thing. So it's come a long way from this.
Right. And I can a little bit technical update on this. I realize now because I did the Altimira rendering, I rendered the terrain, the basic geometry for shield lands first, so I knew that it functioned, and then I did the same thing for Altimira. And then I realized, okay, it's working. So I rendered I rendered the textures and the next step for Altimira first. And I thought, okay, that's good. And then I did the same thing for shield lands. But then I realized that there is a much better way of doing it. I was thinking more into the Photoshop process. So I actually rendered all the individual textures as well, not only the composite texture. So then I can put them on top of each other and I can blend them afterwards in Photoshop. So now I'm actually going to go back into Altimira and render out each of these textures this upcoming week, because that makes it that speeds up the Photoshop process a lot, so to speak. So I learned that and I use my campaign stuff as my test bed, because if I screw up, it's only my own game that is going to have an impact my own games. That's it. And everything else that I do public or for various projects, for commissions and stuff, I know I want to know what I'm doing. I don't want to invent the wheel when I'm doing a commission. So now I'm going to go back and do that right on Altimira. So it's going to be re-rendered all the textures, and then I can blend them together in Photoshop. So that is coming next week. So you live and learn, so to speak.
Yeah, which is, and we have, at least we have that time right now. We're good. We're not
exactly.
under the gun.
That's the good thing.
Currently.
Yeah, we're not up against the clock right away. So
Yeah.
so if it takes another 2 weeks, that's okay right now. Yeah.
So if you look at this map here, we're looking at right about here in where the Uncoed River is going in, and the Twilight Woods is here. The only let me just see. That's Tim. Yes, Tim. Yes. Of course, it's okay to join. Tim's going to come on too. The ever mysterious.
Good. Great.
He's getting over COVID. So if the only thing is that Selene, which is the Elven Kingdom, and Fontenot, which is the Elven Kingdom here, are flipped. So they'll get flipped. So I can put all my Elven estates in here that I have.
Yeah,
because it's all my own work. Yeah.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is the geography is not flipped, but where people live in the geography is flipped, because we have the coast on the right, we have the mountains on the in the west, coast on the south. So the geometry and the actual terrain is almost a 1-by-1 match. It's a little bit how the rivers, when the Uncoed River veers east, when the Jewel veers south.
Yeah.
But that area around Altimira, we can have exactly the same in both, and then we can tweak it when we get like 5 to 10 miles away, or 20 or something like that.
So the possibilities are wonderful when you think about what this will lead to beyond, because we'll have this in Arid. I'll have the custom classes. I've already. I was so excited when I submitted my bounty hunter class to Steven. First thing and he said, "This kicks ass," and I was like, "Awesome!" So I know I'm on the right track with stuff. So that's good.
Yeah,
so we'll have some custom classes, some custom. We'll have the guilds. We'll have all sorts of wonderful things here. The detail done up, and Fontenot. Yeah, Fontenot is the Elven Realms. This is Arid, Norker. This is the world of Arid. This is Castles and Crusades. This is Troller Games' world of Arid that Altimira's getting placed in. So, hi, how you feeling?
Hello.
He's got a blue box sweatshirt on too.
Oh, cool! Wow, I need to get myself one of those. Yep.
So does that story ever get old, Tim? Right arm, left leg cut off?
No, but I had fun acting it out.
Yeah, that's right. You just went and fell off Erica, because you were bombed at the time too, probably. All the drinking we had that weekend. Oh, come on. Talking about that story in 1987. That was awesome.
No way.
Is that what Fontenot means, steel neck? I did not know that. Interesting.
Pleasantly buzzed at best.
Yes, pleasantly buzzed. We had fun, though, that weekend. It was a great weekend, and had a great time, and that's how this all came about. And it's been a long time. 87's a long time ago. So you can leave that on. Oh, look at that. There's a switch up there.
It was too warm.
Vesvi is Middle French for widow. I didn't see. We're learning some good stuff.
Yeah.
So where are the French in Greyhawk, though?
What's that?
Where are the French in Greyhawk?
I don't know. I mean, I use a lot of the Dutch and German names, but not a lot of the.
A lot of it. Some people have Furundi, more French inspired and stuff, so you can kind of pick. Yeah.
It's a wonderful. The good thing is we have the options here. Thank you, Incarnate. I'm assuming that was you who's on. Thank you for the Discord friend request. I do have that open. So I got a new broadcasting laptop, by the way, because mine went kaput finally. So I got that fortunately. So it's going to be added in officially. All right, John, elaborate. Ordered it officially into Greyhawk or into Arid? Into Arid, yes, 100%. It's going into Arid. Publication box set, yeah. Oh yeah, Kickstarter full box set, absolutely. Into Greyhawk, we're going to have an addendum, and depending on what happens with all this other crap that's going on, we have Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're hoping this is a big deal with tons of different Kickstarters and different levels coming up. Um, and we're gonna share something that's going on at GaryCon about it. We have an official response from WotC before all the shenanigans went down, saying we could put down a free addendum on Troller Games' site, noting all the Greyhawk conversions for it. And that was beforehand, so we'll see what happens there. But yes, we still have that, so it'll be in both. Tim, what are your thoughts, man, since you hopped on? You've been along on this journey, Sir Rastus, and a lot of your other characters. You've been on this journey for years too, man.
Yeah, and how he's pining away with that unrequited love.
Yes, Lady Ventura.
Lady Ventura.
Yes. I think he's met her twice in the course of gaming in all those 26 years.
Because Sir Rastus is a half elf, and he's in love with a gray elf noble. So it's not looking good for him.
No, it's not. It's
I mean,
not.
There's the 250-year courtship. They must make it through first, which she's great. So
next life. Yep.
Next life, absolutely. So he's a little bit of a hard luck case guy, but that's okay.
I know, but chivalric literature is full of unrequited love and a lot of that high romance. So
it's awesome.
Somebody had to do it.
I'll show this too, but it's mostly dead now.
Oh, I was going to say, what's the status?
I haven't had an update in a week, but John. So Stephen Chenault bought a kumquat tree in honor of this, and then he
killed it.
Yeah, the way he announced it was the most hilarious thing I've ever had in quite a while. It was so cool when, I have to tell the story real quick. When we went on and had our last online meeting, and it was when OGL was the first one week into it, and everybody was like doom and gloom, what's going to happen? And the first thing Steven said, okay, do you want the good news or the bad news first? And we were like bracing ourselves, like, what the heck can happen now? Because the whole RPG industry was on fire and everybody was like doom and gloom, cease and desist, whatever, and Stephen Chenault was like, oh, it's terrible, and from the bad news, and we say, okay, out with it, the kumquat tree is dead. And we were laughing.
Jay, that's an adventure idea. Hoops Farms kumquats have like some sort of
blight.
Yeah,
the
plague or some kumquat. Yeah, a blight, kumquat blight or something.
That's going to be tough.
And the blight will be caused by trolls headed up by the Troll Lord.
Yes. Ooh, awesome.
Tim's on a roll already, which is good.
Yeah.
He's on
I got a million of them.
So if you're all asking what the hell, we're childish. Who doesn't love saying kumquat instead of oranges? So.
Jay had a great way of saying it with a 30-sided die.
Yes, with Hoops. And Tim always reminded me, Hoops transported from Highport over to Altimira, and I completely had forgotten about that. So here's the official and heraldic shield of the free city of Altimira, noting its colors and the defense, but the kumquat is right on the shield, so note that it's a big deal. Hey.
You got to keep the vitamin deficiencies down, and that's a good way to do it.
Yep.
Ancient city of the Senere. Where is that?
No scurvy there.
Anna, where's the ancient city of the
Let's see.
Is that Senere?
Senere, it's on the. Hang on a second. No, yeah, it's on the Bright Desert.
The Somme
coast. Yeah, I think it's the Somme. Yeah, back in the day.
Someone is. Hey, Kern. Someone is doing an adventure. I saw in a Facebook post. They're actually doing that. And I can't remember who
Senere,
it was.
it's north. It's on the eastern end of the Bright Desert or Brightlands. Yep.
So we got a lot of fun stuff going on. Here's the funnest thing of all, and for any of you who are going to be at GaryCon, now I don't have this prepped up, but let me go to this, and I got to go to this, and I got to go to this, got to switch to this, got to go to attend my events. No, event schedule. Then I got to go in here and put my name in.
Well, at least it's user friendly.
Yeah, well, all right, adventure, all right, number 1650 event. Altimira Greyhawk comes to Aird. Friday, this is all Central Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 90 minutes in the Chop House. Because we're big deals, right? Steven Chenault recommended it, asked to do this for Luke, and Luke obliged.
Nice.
Yep. Join Steven Chenault, Chuck Cumbo, Aaron Meyer, and Jay Scott as we provide a sneak peek introduction to the Free City of Altimira box set to Kickstarter later in the year. This is a drop in and out event. Come by and join us as we chat about the anticipation of placing this iconic location within the setting of Aired. We'll have snacks and smiles for everyone, so swing on by and say hi. So there you go. Yes. Curtis doing an Animal House reference. That's awesome. So if you're going to be this is 1 p.m. Saturday, right before Friday, 1 p.m. Friday. If you're around, stop in. I will be making, just like we will have for the Kickstarter, we're going to have, just like the Free City Greyhawk box set. What's one of the coolest things out there, audience, that was in the Free City Greyhawk box set? Let's see what the audience says. One of the coolest things in that box set. Anyone? Bueller? Wow. No response.
Magic.
I thought DM John would do it. No. Something. There was a whole bunch of them in the box set.
Yep.
Yes. Well, the map is great, Lando, but the map is cool. What else was in there? It was like, oh, this is useful.
Something special that you really like.
I love
with a lot of cool little stuff. Yep.
Yeah, sewer map is awesome too.
Yeah.
Cards, right? They had
the adventure cards.
Yes.
The adventure cards. We're gonna have a whole bunch of them for Altimira. I'm going to give away a preview one if you show up at this event at GaryCon. So there you go. Yep, I will have one for you.
And I'll make a special kumquat.
Ooh, kumquat card.
So I was really excited that Steven Chenault wanted to do this. So that's another thing we will have coming up at GaryCon, and just another thing to put into my schedule, which is so swamped as it is. Not complaining. I brought it on myself. So yes, I got a lot going on there. So as we start going into the actual topic that we were going to discuss tonight, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. I will be live streaming from GaryCon at least 6 times. Wednesday at the museum, I will be doing a hosting and be part of an event there where the mayor of the town comes in and all at the actual with Paul Stormberg. I'm still going to have a Gabbin that Wednesday night, hopefully after that. Thursday, Legends and Lore, right, Anna? Thursday afternoon, we have Legends and Lore. Friday afternoon, we have Fantasy Mapping Show. I may try and do to stream the host thing we're going to do for them for the Aired thing. That's Friday. The Ed Greenwood game Saturday, right? I'll be streaming that definitely, and then Gabbin closing out the con Sunday night. I'll be streaming every day from Wednesday to Sunday while I'm at GaryCon. So you have plenty of things you can catch up on. So
yeah,
the cards were awesome. Cards were definitely an awesome thing. Any questions from the audience before we go on to our topic tonight? But I wanted to come on, and John did such a great job with the kids. I love the idea, and it'll be 7 years later. I love that. I just wanted to, come on early. I was just sitting here just watching. I figured I can do that. Come on and chat up about like the history and all and what's going on. And it was really a cool thing that John ran right in the city. So, Tim, any thoughts of memories?
Altimira.
Yeah, or the area.
Just the beginning when it was just empty.
Right. Yes. But how it came from nothing, right?
Right. It was like there was a crossroads there.
There was just a crossroads there with Hoops at the crossroads. So Hoops is the only person who was, what's the word, grandfathered in as a citizen because he was already.
He made a lot of money if he owned some of that property. We had to buy it from him, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Or do we just eminent domain it and just take it?
Well, Hoops is doing well for himself. I even have a portrait workshop picture of Hoops. I do, remember? I made one up. H. Another great one. Yeah, there's Hoops. There you go.
I think he's more scruffy than that.
Probably.
He's gained a little weight since he's been doing so well.
He's well groomed. Yeah.
Well, yes, because he's got a ton of money too. So
there
you go.
That's right.
Yes, the real Hoops had a goiter on his neck, so I can't do that in Portrait Workshop. So, but I guess Anna can almost do anything.
Oh, we can see if we can. Well, yeah, we can kind of work with that first, and then we can do other stuff afterwards. So yeah,
that's so funny. Oh my gosh! So look at that. It's 7:00. We're here for a really cool discussion tonight. Hey, Tim.
I actually did a little research and was looking for one of those old websites where you could download those old DOS games.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
And I got close. I was in the process, but I got hung up somewhere in my phone downloading the Ultimate Wizardry.
Awesome. But my first memory of a D&D game predates the story with Tim, because Tim, I'm gonna be honest here, and his dad are the one that hooked me into RPG gaming, and we'll tell that story. But this is where it started. And this may have started in different places for some of us, but I think for a lot of us, it started here. Hey, Will. The
Hello.
Atari 2600.
Oh, wow.
An adventure
is early.
With the dragons in it. And you could get it, right? You could get a sword and slay the dragons. You had to find, you could find the ladder to get inside to go into the catacombs.
But it was not a real D&D licensed adventure. No. It was just a fantasy, generic fantasy knockoff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The keys, that's it. Also, if you knew where, and the creator of this game got fired for this, there was a dot, a little like glowing dot. You could find it in the catacombs, which is completely dark, so you couldn't see anywhere. And if you grabbed that dot and went outside the castle, went to a right wall, put it there, the wall slid up, and then all the credits came up, and all these special things came up, and a secret panel. And they were not happy that he coded that in. So yeah, definitely early 80s. I think maybe Curtis. I think it's 78, 79 personally.
Yeah. The dragon looked like a duck.
Yeah, they look like ducks. Yeah, You're right. They're stand-up ducks.
I'm going to refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The oldest fantasy game before I even had a computer, we played in when we went to amusement park to in these arcades. They had one when you always got hungry, like elf is hungry and he needed more credits.
Gauntlet.
You had to put Gauntlet. Yes, Gauntlet. Yeah, that was the first time I encountered fantasy in any way, shape, or form. I think, and I don't know how old I was. I think that was I was
Gauntlet
like
was 84.
Then it was late. Then I had my date screwed up because I knew that was fun. Yeah.
It may, Curtis. It may have been. I think
Gauntlet. Now I need to
Curtis,
check
I think
that.
It was before I was in high school for this. I'm almost positive it was like 79 for this. Got started your own adventure books and This is a reminiscing time.
Yeah.
I'm only going to go up to the 90s on this. There's things like
you're right. It was 1985. So then I had my dates wrong. So So that was later.
I would love.
See, we're going
to do this in a later discussion, but I would love to talk about one of my favorites of all time. But this is too early. This is 2000s, right? Dragon Age is like on its own.
Oh yeah, that is way later. Yeah.
Dragon Age, we're not going to get to that. We're going to get to. I think we're going to go through everything, Gold Box, all the stuff in there, up to Baldur's Gate 2. And I think that'll be where we go.
I thought that was older Gauntlet, but no, it wasn't.
No, because I remember we played it. I played it when I was at University of Maryland, 85. I played it down there, and the guys were on it all the time. I have been teetering with getting one of those. What's it called? Raspberry Pi. Big setup rigs.
That are an arcade thingy where you put a Pi in it and you have all the games in it. That's really cool idea.
I was thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure if I should.
No, it takes a lot of time if you get something like that. So that's the problem. Yeah.
I don't have the one thing I don't have is time.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another early one.
Yeah. Wow! Never seen that one. Yeah.
This is the first one that I can think of that's actually Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, Valmoku, gotcha.
But I didn't. But I got my Amiga in '84. Exactly, I think '84. So I thought I played Gauntlet several years before I got my Amiga. But that's not. No. So that was the amazing thing, because that was my first entry into it.
Gauntlet was ahead of its time. It was so.
Yeah.
Detailed.
It was really cool, but you and cool. Then if you didn't keep up with the other ones, you get bumped back into the
or you get yelled at by the by some of the no tropes here on the type of players, but they would scream at you.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we were fairly cooperative, but yeah.
So blah blah. That's true. So we'll get to Wizardry ultimately.
So this was a properly licensed
yes, it was.
game.
Yes.
And what platform was it on?
In television.
Okay, in television. Never heard of Intellivision.
Yeah.
Is that something you plugged into the TV with cartridges
just like Atari.
And stuff?
It was a console system that was in competitive with Atari. It had like whistle music, and it had a level up of graphics from the Atari. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff. Yeah, Zork is in that problem solving text thing, but it's. Yeah. Some people consider the Three Zorks the greatest trilogy of all time when it comes to games, RPG types.
Yeah.
I
wasn't.
This was the graphics were.
Graphics back then were terrible.
Right.
That's why I loved the Amiga, because I wasn't interested in video games or anything before I saw an Amiga. That was what got me interested, because you could draw things and doodle, and it had colors and real good sound and stuff.
Well, Delaware, Hunt the Wampus. Bones!
Hello.
Hunt the Wampus is from Mule, right? You hunt the Wampus in Mule, and you grab him and get his money. Mule was for the Commodore 64. It's one of the 5 best games ever made for it. So much. Did you know they have a board game out for it now? My son loves it. They made a Mule board game. So, Bones, thank you so very much. We'll see you coming up less than 2 weeks. As I sent you your character there for the wonderful fundraiser event. Bones is part of it. It's
Hello,
Justinius. Awesome. We may. I'm only going to say this. We may have a 7th special player. That person is verifying that they are available. I don't want to get people's hopes up, so I don't want to go into any more details. But it would be a big deal if that person could play. I'm awaiting a response.
Jay, please, it's not a big deal if I come, man.
You are coming, right? You are coming, because you are going to play the voices of the baddies. You're going to do some of the baddies. So, Temple of Afshai, that's another one too.
And pick some actions for them.
That
too,
was on Atari. Yeah, Afshai. So these were the 2 most early ones that I remember. All right, let's jump ahead a year or 2. I'm in high school. I'm going to say it's 83 or 84. And I don't know how Tim, you got to tell this story. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So my dad it was actually an Apple II.
Apple II. Not the Mac he had. He had both, an Apple II and a Mac.
Well, it was the Apple II Plus. So it was like 128K memory. So it was screaming along. And he bought this game, and that was fun. But it was a game where you would have to you'd type.
Right, but it had some 3D aspect to it. It was all monochrome green or whatever. Right.
Yeah. So you had like lines of the hallways, and so you could see the rooms, whatever.
Remember Battlezone, everyone? How blocky that was when you played that video game? It was like that, but it was like for
it was a little bit better than that. Yeah. A little bit more detail than that. So you kind of saw the 3D of the hallways. And I don't remember if you used the arrow to move, but if you wanted your character to do something, you'd have to
get a party.
I realized I was not half as much into it. Defender was a video game I loved to play.
Defender was awesome.
Yeah, you had to play the asteroids and blow them. And then when you start moving your ship out of a whack, then you get into all sorts of trouble. And yeah.
Apple IIe.
I was not good at it, but I loved to play it. Yeah.
Yeah, Lexar, 2E or 2C, depending on what version of the Apple II you had. And a regular Apple I really couldn't run it. It had to be on an Apple II. So I get there, and with Tim, I fell in love with this. Now, somehow, I don't know how this happened. Your dad had an editor for this. he could edit it, and he could
Oh,
go
wow.
in. He could edit.
He was already transitioning from being an English literature teacher
Yeah.
to learn computers and do programming. So
So
that's
he
when I
can,
realized an English literature degree is useful. Reading comprehension.
Yeah.
Reading comprehension is important.
yeah.
So Tim's
So could he make his own adventures or tweak them
He just went in and tweaked it. Yeah. He did some programming for handheld terminals when they were first coming out with barcode readers and stuff.
This game, though, was ahead of its time. It's called Proving Ground: The Mad Overlord. That was Wizardry 1. And it had things where, remember, the bear would come out and block you, and you couldn't go down that road, and you had to find your way around. You had to find to get that. There was 9 levels, and there was actually a secret 10th level, and you had to go. It was a long adventure.
You could teleport out. I remember if you learned certain words, you could type them. And in fact, texting Jay today, I typed in one of the go-to spells I would use, which was like a nuclear
10 to 100 points of damage. Tilt away. So there's a lot of great stuff, Jimmy. It was a glory era because it really broke into, but it was all monochrome, but it didn't matter because there was the coding on this was so genius. But they made one minor mistake, and here this is actually funny. There was all different sorts of character classes too, and a lot of them were D&D classes that were multi-classes. Like a cleric mage was a bishop. Remember that?
Right.
Bishops and bards had the ability to identify stuff. There was a coding error or a cut in there that they didn't know about, and so you make a bishop at first level. You get any item, and you do your identify, and then you hit the 0, which nothing was there, and it would give you, what was it, 100 million experience?
It was like 999,999,999.
So boom,
999.
Yeah, and then I think it would level you up to 300th level.
I like adventuring that way.
So everyone was playing bishops.
Yeah, all these young folks, you need to realize we cheated like crazy back in the day, and there were cheats and stuff because games weren't playing online back then. You played them on your own. Yeah.
Cheating or just taking the opportunity.
Exactly. You just were smart and hacked your way in and so on. So,
how we figured that out, I have no idea, but someone hit a wrong button once and go, what the hell happened?
And these things probably spread like wildfire among BBSs, among friends and whatnot back then. Computer
but we didn't really
magazines and stuff.
Not as fast as today, because you didn't have that connection.
No, BBSs started coming in like the late 80s, something like that, with modems, early 90s, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess, but I wasn't.
The great thing about this game,
I wasn't much into it either until the 90s, early 90s. That's when late 80s. That's when I started getting into computers.
Yeah, this is like 83 or 84.
Yeah.
The great thing about this game was this is the basis. Your adventuring group, not your front, like it's not Eye of the Beholder, but your adventuring group, 4 characters, and they can cast spells, attack. There's rows of baddies, like Bard's Tale, which we'll get to. Right, this is Bard's Tale-esque. Bard's Tale takes it one step further with color and all that, but this is the first one.
Yeah, now it's so weird because I got into computers mid-80s when I got my Amiga and really tried to understand computing and learned so much about it. But I was not into gaming until that came in the late 90s for me, really heavily. The first decade or almost I used the computers. I didn't game much of them at all, which is weird. So yeah. Because a lot of other people did,
Well, before we leave the old game, Jay, I'll say also I had a flash today when I was looking for all those DOS. I actually downloaded 520 80s DOS games in zip files.
Yes.
So I'll be sharing those when I get them on the drive. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I have some games we will get to later that I want to play again. So awesome. I'm going to get them again. So yeah.
So the Art of War was one of those games.
Yeah, Sun Tzu, the Art of War.
Sun Tzu, the Art of War, where you had knights, barbarians, and archers.
Right.
And
one was better.
Each one was good against another and susceptible to another. So you would decide how your squads were made up. And that was the earliest time that was my first interaction with Sun Tzu, I guess.
Art of War at Sea was another one, BB. Yeah. So this is the early genre era where Commodore 64 and you had The two were Apple II, Commodore 64 were the big ones that had RPGs on them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the second one is Wizardry 2: The Night of Diamonds. They were okay. I mean, there was a ton of wizardries that came out of this, but the first one's iconic. The first one, you fight Werdna, the mage, right? Werdna at the end. They were great, unique magic items in it, and the original Wizardry, like the Blade Cuisinart, right? 7 attacks around with it. It was just real. It was just cool. Yeah, it was cool things. It was just like, oh my god, I got the Blade Cuisinart. It was such a rare find. So, and here's this Wizardry 2. A Night of Diamonds, and the third one was Legend of Llewellyn, Legacy of Little Gammon, and that was Wizardry 3. And they're the three that came out of the series early on. I think Werner makes a return in this one too somehow. Did you see that one said Super CD-ROM? But look, 48K is required on this one.
Yeah, they have to put that because computers advance so quickly from one generation to the other and stuff. Yep.
And we'll talk about a game that was so hard to run on the computer, and I was actually working at EB at the time, and no one could run it. And it said 386 required on the box. Don't give it away, Tim. Anyone out there know what that game was? It said 386 required to run this game. I want to see if anyone gets it.
Yeah,
it was like oh, yes. What was it? So let me see what I got these in order.
I remember I
only know a few names. I don't.
Yeah, I switched from a Amiga to a 486 when
not
came
BB,
out.
not Eye of the Beholder, but we will. 486 Screaming Demon was a great one.
Yeah, I switched from my Amiga 1200 or whatever it was to 486. Yeah.
Doom. What about Doom?
No, we're talking RPG. D&D RPG.
D&D Doom was a fever.
Doom's an RPG.
Well, yeah, we played Doom at work until our hands bled and our computers burned up. So that was crazy. But now we're talking mid-90s. So yeah,
I believe
was early. Yeah,
am I correct that Curse of Asia Bonds was out before Polar Radiance? This was the first one.
I think so. I think so because I started playing. I looked into them on my Amiga a little bit.
But I got the
they often had issues on the Amiga, so they often had problems so they didn't work.
Gabriel, that's a great game. And in particular, so I'm going to talk about Hillsfar too, because that's the second one out. Pools first? Are you sure? Okay, we'll say Pools first.
Okay.
We'll just say Pools first.
I had a whole bunch of them.
second.
Yeah, and I never got into them. I was not smart enough to understand them, something was wrong. So I was
too busy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I tried because these look like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and I was so I wanted, but I never got into them.
So here's Polar Radiance, Forgotten Realms.
But they got so good reviews in Dragon Magazine and stuff, so I was like, I need to try them. And
Glass Jaws, awesome.
Yeah, welcome.
So
I always found the problem with the RPGs is that it's missing the very thing that I want, which is to interact with someone.
Yeah. They were single players back then. These games, so that was the big thing. And so you were sitting there swearing at the computer when you were.
It changed a little bit when I could play a sci-fi one where I got to shoot people. Then it changed.
Okay. Yep.
Very kind of you. Thank you. So yeah, you had to have 2 disk drives in the Commodore 64 because swapping out disks was a pain in the ass, and you had to swap them out a lot. Now, see, Tom, we all know Tom. Right, Tom was the tech guy ahead of all of us, and he got a Commodore 128, which had just come out, and he had the 2 disk drive deal and all, and we were tweaking stuff like crazy back then. In my opinion, one of the greatest RPGs of all time is on the Commodore. I'll go over that in a little bit too. So Polar Radiance is first. Now, right after that came a trainer adventure. Hillsfar came out second. That was a trainer where they had an arena in it too. So this really wasn't a full adventure. It was kind of like a supplement where you could level up your character a little bit more, if I recall correctly.
SSI. I'm strategic
simulations. Yeah, the war game company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So PR was really based on any rules.
I remember coming. I was away at college or in the Army. I remember my dad talking about speaking of computers because Jay and the other guys would overclock their computers and all that stuff. And he was like, Tim, I was the cutting edge of the group for a while because he had a he had a 20 megabyte hard drive. It was
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was like
that
the
was an
biggest thing
enormous
ever.
thing. Yeah, when you got a hard drive for the first time, that was amazing. You could put lots of stuff there. You could just start it. I remember I got an Amiga and I got the hard drive the first time, and I could put all my stuff in there, or at least like 20 or different programs, and you just double click on the icon, and boop, it just started, and it was, oh wow, that's so cool.
This new laptop has 2 1 terabyte hard drives in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my!
Meaning my graphics, meaning my graphics card have more memory than all the computers I had the first 20 years.
Yeah, and then everyone remember DOS. DOS 3.3 was great. Then for some reason Microsoft tweaked it. The DOS 4 sucked, and you couldn't run anything on DOS 4 until DOS 5
came out. And you remember when
out.
you have to write special memory software just to tweak the into upper memory management thingy to start something, and that was a bitch.
That's it, Curtis. They would put in Back to Corbin's in the game, and Back to Corbin's my favorite. The Order of Ulick, the status symbol weapon for the Order of Ulick's a Back to Corbin. Right, so yeah.
So you've been to Polearm School? That they had a funny cartoon in Dragon magazine, like Polearm School, and if someone was standing there and you had to remember the names, and I never knew this was a polearm.
Vols.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all very similar. They're all
It's very similar, but slightly different. So Hellsfar was a trainer adventure, which is kind of cool because it was like the first time that was out, the kind of trainer adventure. And then you had Curse of the Azure Bonds. You had a lot of other ones here. Let me see what else I got on here. Gateway to Savage Frontier was another one.
Wow, I never.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. Now this one says Moby Games down here. I'm not sure why, but IBM PC. And look what it requires here. Runs on Tandy 1000. Nothing runs on a Tandy 1000. So that's bullshit. Hey, Vancouver.
You don't like Tandies?
No, no. Also available in 5 1/4. Yeah. Look, but this one, it supports the Sound Blaster. That was it.
That was the thing.
I worked at EB. I had a freaking Sound Blaster.
Yeah, I remember. I got a I got another graphics card, and they said in the store, like, it's compatible. It was compatible. I had to go down and get a proper Sound Blaster the same day. It was that was.
So we've gone into the 3.5-inch disc.
Yeah, a little bit.
When do we cross over?
It's got to be. I'm saying 87, 88 is my guess.
Well, yeah, the late 80s. I had 3. My Amigas had small ones. Yeah.
Jock, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Trust me. I have it set all the way up through Baldur's Gate 2. Okay? All the ones that I loved. I missed, though, one that was mentioned earlier, a real good one. There's a lot of them I didn't get to. This is from my experience of what I played. I want everyone to sit back, and I want you to think about something. Think about this. How different would it have been if only one of these was a Greyhawk SSI gold box game?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
None of them were. They were all Forgotten Realms back then. That was
Dragonlance.
That's true, but the Dragonlance I can understand because it was such a huge franchise. But it was weird that
here's the 3 in the Dragon. I still have this.
But this was also the time, just the years after they've thrown out Gary. So I can understand that's when they really wanted to distance themselves from Greyhawk, I think.
Let's see what's inside this. Look, I have a clue book from Electronics Boutique I never opened.
Oh.
$10.49 for the damn clue book. Oh my God!
Well, we've always been good at wasting money throughout our lives.
Yeah, all live stuff. But all the books are in this one, as you can see. The Adventures Journal.
There you go.
Stuff, yeah. Crazy stuff.
I probably spent more on computer magazines back then to learn this stuff. That it was crazy before the internet. I bought all the computer magazines so I could read up and stuff, especially before I had a laptop, so I could kind of stay up and touch and because everybody around me knew so much about it, and I had to always play catch up. So I always felt like the idiot when everybody else at work or at home and friends, they always knew more.
That's cool, Tina. You stored your lead figures in those game boxes. That's cool. You know what I couldn't find? I should have looked for it. I didn't look hard enough. I know it's up there somewhere, but I may have to take a quick look at some point. So, the gold box games were iconic, and here's some memories for you. Doesn't matter what level character it is. If you sleep them, you can throw a dart at 100 feet away. Throw that dart and you'll kill them, right? It's on insta kill. Anything that's slept or incapacitated, darts, dead. Remember
and
that?
dart was a very underrated
Dart.
weapon back in early editions of the game.
Absolutely, the dart.
Yeah, darts were dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, those King's Quest, all those
Yep.
Tim Statley, they were all there.
Yeah.
And there was a third
I
one,
would-
King's Quest, Leisure Larry. There was another one. I forget what it was called. There was another series. Yeah, the coup de grace it was called, the insta kills.
I wouldn't let a dart instant kill a sleeping person in the game, but
Well,
I will let somebody come up and knife somebody to death in
Right.
the game.
Police Quest. That's it. Thanks, BB. Thank you, man. Good job. Yep. King's Quest went on a lot longer than Leisure Suit Larry did too. Yes, Antiquities, you finally got it. Ultimate 7, the Black Gate. We'll talk about that one soon too. Yeah, it said right on the box. I know because I worked at EB at the time when it came out. And all right,
You see EB, no one knows
Electronics
what EB is, Jay.
Boutique.
Yeah.
Electronics Boutique.
I forgot until you actually said the name again.
I'm
I was
sorry.
like, oh,
Yeah, I was an area manager for him.
I was
those early
thinking
days.
Radio Shack.
Yeah, I started playing.
It was Electronics Boutique. Yeah.
Yep. They really did. They really pushed. Let me see what other gold
Or
box ones we
upscale
have.
than Radio Shack or
All right. So here's a couple other ones that are from.
I think it was a game, more games than tech. I think.
okay. Yep.
Compared,
All right. Let me see here.
but there's overlap.
I'll leave that one up.
Yep.
Jay was very diligent working there too, because every so often I'd see him working in there. He'd talk, but as soon as a customer came, oh, I got a customer.
That's because I got
Very diligent.
back in the day when companies, I got commission sales back then, man. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Ooh, well,
It
there
was-
you
it was
go.
great.
There, that explains.
Here is a great SSI variant game, which really got panned, but it was pretty good. Anyone remember Matrix Cube?
Never
Buck
seen. Oh, that's
Rogers.
Buck Rogers.
Remember, they
Oh.
owned the
Rogers.
rights to Buck Rogers.
Yeah, we've heard
TSO
that
did.
from
Yeah.
the books. That how
Haunted House too. Yep.
Lorraine tried to
That's a-
push the Buck Rogers against everything so much. So yeah.
Yeah.
I actually started watching some Buck Roger episodes. It was I don't know, it's been a month or so, but I love that third episode, the third episode with Jack Palance, the two-parter.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Khalil.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where he
alright.
gets the hands. The red hands turn
Yeah.
red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Palance.
And this one, VGA graphics.
Yes,
Wow, that was a
yes.
biggie when that came.
256
When we went to VGA graphics, that was like, oh, you can have all the colors, not only like 4 or 8
There
or
was an
whatever
original, it's the
EGA or
second one.
CGA or whatever that was before, when you had like 4 or 8 colors and you can switch them out, but you can only have, what was it, like 4 or 8 or something at the same time. And then VGA, you can have 256 colors. It was like amazing.
It was like you had the colors that printers, like a laser printer. It's got magenta,
Yeah.
cyan, was it yellow? Yeah, yellow.
Yep.
Those were like and black. That was it. That was
Yeah,
the color.
CMYK.
Yeah, back in the Commodore 60, we were like, "What's this cyan color?" Wow, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. No, and
Yep.
you really had to have a sci-fi gig to be into this, right? You really needed that feel to be
Yeah,
into
I
this. I know
never-
LG was bashing Tandy, but
Yep.
yeah, any graphics adapter. Well, yeah. So Tandy was just. It was they were not. I was
It
in
barely made it to Sweden with
yeah,
Tandies,
I
so we
was-
never barely saw
yeah,
Tandies. I
trash
read about them
80s
in
Tandies,
yeah, I saw them in Britain, had them and in England, and they had a lot of ads and stuff in computer magazines, but they barely made it to Sweden, so they weren't that good.
Yeah. It's okay. I didn't like that they
Yeah.
weren't upgradable. Just like
Gateways
today.
were very common. in
Gateways
Sweden,
were
somebody
huge.
said.
Tandy
Yeah.
sounds like the name of somebody you don't want to admit you dated. That's what Tandy sounds like.
That's awesome.
What's her name?
Yep.
Tandy.
It's okay. Yeah. sometimes things. Hey, it's okay. People have different experiences with stuff, but I always wanted the the Intel processors, even back then, the 386s, 486s. All right.
I was built
So-
by computers. Yeah.
Variant. This is the era now, this Buck Rogers era, and I don't know why I forgot to get the box for this. But here, I'll just flip back to the main screen for a little bit. In this time frame, someone in their right mind or not right mind gets the idea, let's put the gold box games online. and have an MMO, the first ever MMO, and it was called Neverwinter Nights. Now, this Neverwinter Nights is not the 3rd edition Neverwinter Nights that you're all thinking about. That game, that'll be in a future one because that's past Baldur's Gate 2, right? Yes,
so, okay,
AOL.
Now I'm very curious.
AOL had it, Glassjaws. Yes, AOL had it. Neverwinter Nights.
So now I'm curious because I never heard of this this early one. So please.
That's where you met Eric Mona? Wow. Okay. So, that's where you met Eric Mona playing it. Now here's the great or sad thing about it. There was no defenses up, against hacking or whatever. And the crazy bill, we all know which bill.
The no bill, no.
Yes,
no bill,
yes,
no.
Exactly. This bill here, that bill there. If you scroll down on my screen and go to the picture of all of us down further, not the picture of Tim and me, the picture of the gaming group going to the 80s. Alan's to my left and he's to my right. All right, that's that bill. Well, he figured out how to hex edit the game.
He was He was very techy.
Right. So scroll down on my picks, down on my groups. Scroll down, below the actual stream, and if you go down past all the ads, past the picture of Tim and me, real life D&D table gaming, the gaming group going back to the 80s. You have Tom, then Alan, then me in the middle, then the other Bill we're talking about, then Tim's dad John, and then no Tim in the pick, and then Bill, and then the other Bill the Master Crafter in that pick. All right, that's my 40th birthday party picture. All right, that Bill. He figured out how to hex edit the game. So he had it set so you could kill every kobold you killed was 10,000 experience points or something crazy. So we would, and back then you could dual class characters in it, and there was a level cap. So we figured out how to dual class a character within an hour on Neverwinter Nights, 9th cleric, 11th mage. We could dual class a human 9/11 quick up and make a really kick-ass character with all those spells. It was a. How long has Dungeons and Mage been in D&D? How long has Dungeons and Mage been in D&D as a whole, and what edition was that? You mean the Wizardry? Or which one? The Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Chad, be a little more specific.
Oh, Undermount?
Yeah. Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Somebody said it was Undermount in 2E.
Undermount was 2E. Okay. Yeah, it was 2E. So we're talking about 90s and that. We're talking about mid 90s. 95, 96, 97. Sound right? Yeah, in that era. Yeah, 2E Undermount. There you go. Maybe that's an homage to Wizardry and Wordna, who was the Mad Overlord. So, we had these maxed out characters. Well, no one knew because there was no timers or anything like that, and there was nothing wrong with that. So we're playing, and we have these we're having fun in this game, playing everyone. Then Bill starts getting the idea, well, I can hex edit magic items. And that's when we got in trouble. Because hexadecimal gets you up to, 256 code, right? Right? So he was making plus 256 rings of protection.
Well, I'd like one.
So you only failed to save on a 1. But it was so easy for him to hex edit. He could hex edit, boom, 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 put it back in. Because everything, it wasn't server-based back then. The game would be still playing on your computer. Yeah, exactly. John, you like that?
You can do anything.
Right. Yeah. So the game...
it was not encrypted in any way.
Right, right. Yeah. So, and then you could give an unlimited... He had gems would be tenfold worth, or times 256 worth, whatever. He figured all that out. So we go in, and in an hour, we'd have maxed out characters with all these abilities and stuff. It was awesome. We got
did you have player versus player?
Oh, yeah. There's PvP arenas in that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, arenas. So you could just walk up and...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because you could put serial cables. You could connect one PC to the other. You didn't have networking, was not really came later, but in the 90s. Yeah. But in the 80s, you could put serial cables. So you can at least put 2 computers together and play against one other person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, there weren't many RPG. The first one I remember in that genre, which we should talk about in a future show, is Diablo. The first Diablo was LAN party game. That was that was
Oh yes,
the best.
that was used.
Diablo
Oh,
one.
it was so awesome. But
Yeah.
we LAN partied Doom a lot before,
Doom
and
was great
Quake
too. Yep.
and
Doom,
Quake. We did
Quake.
Doom and Quake. We did them
NHL, whatever, NHL 95 or whatever. We
yeah,
would do
yeah.
LAN
We
party.
played
Oh yeah.
Doom and Quake and a few other
Yep.
games before that.
Another
And
game.
we did flight sims too a lot. And
True.
when that came
True
out, we were
Glass
flight sim freaks. So yeah.
There was another game out called Oubliette, which I didn't know much about. I didn't play, so I don't have an experience. But Mark played it a lot, and that was D&D based too. I don't know if any of you ever played Oubliette.
Yeah.
Oubliette is a place where you put people to forget them.
Yeah, that's true. But that was the name of the thing.
Right.
And I have to state something, because
Please.
the Dragon magazine back in these years had they actually did reviews of video games of all sorts, because they even reviewed my favorite flight sims of the time, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Who could believe Dragon magazine ever wrote about flight sims? But they did. When the Falcon series came out of flight sims that were benchmarks and still are, they were actually reviewed in Dragon magazine. And to me, that was kind of wow, because that was my mainstay
Chuck
to
Yeager Flight Simulator.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny that they actually reviewed stuff like that. So they had like a digital section in Dragon magazine for years before they ended it. So yeah.
Didn't they also put basic in there? Didn't they actually put basic? And you
they did. They had basic code examples for how to character builders and all sorts of stuff back then. Yep.
When I was at EB, Electronics Boutique, the big game in the flight game at that time was Secret Weapons of the Luftwaffe.
Oh,
that was the game I remember.
Yep.
They had the flying wings and all that stuff.
You know,
yep.
So, they were. Yep.
Text-based MUDs. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I had friends and people at work, co-workers that were so into MUDs that they
MUDs
were
and mushes, right?
Yeah, but MUDs came out when the early internet came, like the mid '90s. That's when internet started to be prevalent, like the early '90s, mid '90s. That's when MUDs came around. When you had modems and they were purely, everyone who doesn't know, most of them were purely text-based. So you had like ASCII graphics where you have little dot and you get like a basic description of the room, and there was a description and a basic sketch that were all made in characters, and then you simply typed in your command like move north or move east and or move to the next room, open door, and then you got legal text response and you could play that together with others. They were amazingly advanced when it comes to game mechanics and vast. There were vast worlds in them, but the graphics representation were very, very basic. They were way more basic. Sorry?
Is that Zork? Zork was like that, right?
Yeah, there were a whole bunch of different MUDs, and they were easy. A lot of them were probably set up using the same code. You just changed sci-fi, fantasy, or whatever it was. So yeah.
There we go. Sorry, I couldn't hear Anna. Zork was just word text. It was.
Yeah.
Zork was.
Okay.
But MUDs, and they had to be very bandwidth limited because the internet didn't have much bandwidth back then, so you couldn't send graphics and stuff. So you only send the text.
That's one I love.
Yep.
So this era, the first NWO, it didn't last long because once everyone figured it all out, and thank you, Hager. Once everyone figured out what was going on, they just started banning people left and right, and we both got banned right off of it. And I was like,
I never played MUDs myself. I just looked at it in fascination.
Neverwinter Nights, the first
Cheaters.
Now I remember the following, and like I said, stuff may be out of order. Let's skip back though and talk about this.
Yep.
Because we do some BattleTech here.
Oh,
but here they are.
Cool. So when did these come out, and what were the graphics?
These are by Infocom, by the way, and the graphics were really cheesy on these.
And the old DOS games back then, or
look, it had both disc types.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Here,
I found is it BattleTech?
For Tandy, yeah, DC. When you still use XT, AT, and PS2.
What the freaking year? There's no year dates on any of this stuff.
It looks to me like mid-'80s or something.
Well, it came with also the posters are down in my basement, by the way, hanging on the wall.
Oh, look at this console game.
Infocom's new graphics will blow you out of the water.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
They were better than before, though.
Yeah, they were.
Oh yeah.
I want to say that this came out early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Yeah.
My
and
favorite
the difference.
part.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead, Anna.
I was going to say the difference between
There's
one
no date on
generation
it.
and the next were huge back then. Today is like you add another 10%, then you doubled or quadrupled what you could do from 1 year
This
to
is
the
88.
next.
This is 1988. The first one came out. 88, Crescent Hawk's Inception came out. That's pretty early in the genre here. 88. Crescent Hawk Revenge is probably a year or two after that. And here's the graphics.
See, that's good for the time. Yeah.
Because if your graphics were like on a scale of 1 to 10, they were 1, and you get it upgraded to a 2, you just doubled it. That's good.
Yep.
So just crazy stuff. I mean, just awesome. But that's sci-fi. So from that,
my favorite's the soundtrack of the Mech Warrior 2.
Oh, really?
It was all clan stuff. It's a really cool soundtrack. Yeah.
Excellent.
I ripped that, of course.
Now we take
640 480 VGA graphics. Yes, that was another one. Resolution increased significantly.
The early 90s when I looked at the game, I thought, wow, it looks so real. Yeah, I mean, there was a game that came out before that, which I still think, and they made a 2 and a 3, and the 3 just came out like 2 years ago. I think this is one of the, in my opinion, one of my favorites of all time, and one of let me put this up. I loved this game. I could play this game over and over and over, and I did. Come on, Jay, hit a right button.
Let's see if it's like. Yes, I was right. I knew it. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh, what a great game.
Yeah.
This was ahead of its time. I mean, it's Electronic
Red
Arts.
Rider shows up.
Yes, wow. Red Rider can actually show up if you made fun of the fat kid. Yeah, I mean, yes. One of the best. This is one of the best games of all time. The storylines were deep. The storylines were disturbing. The storylines. You could have a chainsaw and you could put people in fine red mist. I mean, just was awesome. You could get radiation, and the Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3 have been very good as well. They've been great games. Fallout's kind of based on it, but never played. Oh, what a great! This game was awesome.
I played Fallout. That's what I
played. Fallout's great too. Fallout's great. But
now I just have I have to show the only old games that I have.
Yeah, please.
And it's this. This is the big mega box.
You needed a 386 to run that.
Oh yeah, this one was a beast. It took like a week to just figure out how to start this damn thing, because you had to write in the memory script in order to get it. And I had the best computer money could buy back then too. But this one is so damn good that we actually used it in flight school. And the reason I kept it is because the instruction manual here is the best I've ever seen that is not being classified. It's so damn good that it should have been classified. So this is good stuff, and it's so ancient now, but damn, it is good. And then came this, but I take that as a little bit later. This is Falcon 3.0. It was actually reviewed in Dragon Magazine.
That was like $70 when it came out or something.
Oh yeah, this is a beast. This is and it weighs like 10 pounds.
That was Windows for Windows as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was Windows as well. This was DOS only, the first one, the 3.0. That was a 1.0 and a 2.0. They weren't any good, but 3.0, this was fantastic.
When did it come out, Anna?
This one came out like 92, I think, 93 or something like that. Yep. 92, 93.
In college, I had a Falcon flight simulator, so I had one of the earlier versions. And I had a buddy. We hooked the computers up in serial. And we'd start out head to head.
Yeah, this one you could play using Ethernet or you can use any token, IBM token ring network and stuff. So we hooked these up at work. We changed the whole office and put in old whatever. This was we played this a whole weekend and used the Air Force, all the resources in the whole damn office.
Because you remember the Microprose ones, the F-117, they weren't that good.
And this one is damn. This was groundbreaking when it came out.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. So I just wanted to.
That's awesung.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
No, it's okay.
We're
all reminiscing here. This is shows about having fun and reminiscing about great stuff.
My good buddy we'd start head to head, and he would always shoot me down with guns right as you passed each other every single time. I could never catch him. He had this ability to do this 3D. He would just
and we had pedals and the first time and stuff.
I introduced the game to him, and he would just.
There you go. My brother always shot me down every time. So 9 times out of 10 he beat me. So that was it.
We'll get to that, Pat, the one that really was cutting edge for another series. So in this game, Wasteland, you had at the very beginning there was little.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, there were wonderful puzzles, and you could split your party in it, which was really neat. You could actually clone characters in this. It would take time. Is
this based on some other game, or is it its own thing from the beginning?
It was its own game. A post-apocalyptic game, and there were all sorts of guns, law rockets, all sorts of stuff. And
Fallout steals from this.
Fallout steals from this. But remember, Wasteland 3, which is just came out a couple years ago. They have a new version of this that came out, and it's really good too. All right, so the thing I loved about this was the wit in this was really you had to have a sick sense of humor. You go into the one town and there's a 3-legged hooker. Okay, and if you go off with her, you end up getting wasteland herpes. Okay, I mean that kind of stuff. Also, there was a book, and this is before before there was actual chat, but they would have you'd go and talk, and it would say discussion 18, and you go in and you'd read what the discussion was. But if you read in between the lines of stuff that didn't ever come up, did any of you ever do this and catch this? There's discussion, and it was talking about a Martian alien abduction of you throughout that never appeared, and it was a big joke that ran through the entire discussion booklet. I was like, that's the kind of weird I loved in this. It was really neat.
And the graphics on that title image is awesome.
Yeah,
it looks so
well. That's nothing
great.
Like the game, though. The
game wasn't too bad, though. This was I played this on
I know
64.
that back then the games never looked what they.
It's remastered. Exactly. Good old games. It's remastered for $15 there. This game. I can't say enough about it. I think it's top 5 all time of my RPG games. I've no. Max going with the realms with the Spelljammer stuff. So this is my game. This is number 2. Between 2 and 5, I'll go over what number 1 is in a little bit. So for me,
there was a computer game, Swashbuckler. I think I enjoyed.
Yeah, well, I love Pirates. Sid Meier's Pirates. I played that all day long. I love Sid Meier's Pirates. Did you try Warlords? I did not play Warlords. Warlords was good, though. It was another one. EA came out with a lot of great stuff. Yeah. Right? That's Evil from Atari. That was good, too, Dale. It was good, but for some reason it didn't catch me as much. You could make alignment-based groups in that, which was kind of cool. But, yeah. So... Another one.
One back then that hooked me was Sim City when it came up. When you build roads and you build blocks of and people got angry and even Godzilla can come in and tear down your city and stuff. So the first Sim City that came out, I was hooked on that one.
Is that where your mapping started?
Yeah. It was mapping and I loved it. So that was Sim City was a secret passion I never told anyone about, but I did it. Yeah.
My son plays Civ 6 now, which only came out 4 to 5 years ago. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Civ 6 is great. So Pirates, Frontier. What was the trading one in space called, everyone? There was one where you could go out
Elite. I know
not Elite,
a lot of
before
people...
Elite. Before Elite. There was one.
Yeah, I had friends that were crazy. A lot of my people I game with, they played with Elite a lot.
Privateer. That's it, Lois.
Oh, okay.
Privateer. That's it. Before Wing Commander, which is one of my favorites of all time too.
Yeah.
But Privateer, that's it. Masters of Orion was good too. All right, so here, bringing back all these great memories. This is how I met the Crazy Bill. Another story. This is way ahead of its time, and if you could get it to run, it was fantastic. Darklands by Microprose. Now this, Anna, this would be right up your alley. Heroic role-playing in medieval Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And looky. I wonder how
And
much
it's
this is worth.
MicroProse that. Ooh, look at that.
I
Yep.
still have it.
Yeah, and MicroProse
Pristine
was one of my
box.
favorites. They did a lot of good simulation games that I
got the
loved
clue
back
book.
then. Oh, look at that. And yeah.
Look at how many freaking. This is the one that you need 11 discs.
Mhm.
You know why you never played it, Tino? It never ran. It was so
Never
bug
ran?
ridden. Well,
Oh.
it took 2 years after it came out before it really ran well, and it would not run at 286. This and another game, you really needed a powerful machine to do it on
Yep.
this. And look, there was actually my buddy gave me. It was all in. Time was in Latin on it. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, look, there are the times. Madness,
Oh,
Latin,
wow.
Prime.
That could screw up
That tells you
anyone.
what time it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the day. The
Yep.
Trail of Condor was good, Phantom. That was a good one too. That was a good one. So it was nice, and so a lot of this was based on the cult. There was a lot of occult going on in it. A lot of demon, like satanic worship. There were very little monsters. The monsters were, almost naturally occurring types, but it was way ahead of its time. So even picture, yes, the math coprocessor, the MMX. Remember the MMX coprocessor by Intel?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They were a big thing back then when they came out. So
Yep.
yep.
What was the name of that one? Darklands?
Darklands, yeah. Yep.
Cutthroats?
By Microprose, yeah. Microprose made a lot of stuff back in the day before they went out of business. They made all the flight simulators, right? F-117 and Sub One.
Oh yeah,
they made all those.
They made my favorite that we're going to talk about a little bit later. The favorite of all time.
Nice.
Coming. I have it here. So yep, but we're not there in history yet. So,
not yet.
Yep.
Now, let's see what I got next here. I prepped up for this. I really did, everyone. An MMO that came out that a lot of people loved. I think I'm jumping ahead.
Glass Joff, F-19 Stealth.
Yeah, F-19 Stealth, that's it, yeah.
That was an amazing game at its time, yes.
Yeah, for its time, but the graphics were, you just saw a line, right?
Yeah, but it was so cool that you had to stealthy and dodge the enemy radar.
And there was one, a Sub Hunter one, too, that was by Microprose. I don't remember the name of that one. You're underwater and you're like going after ships. I get the name of that one, too. I had that one, too.
Elf Quest. I've heard about that, but I never played it. Yep.
You got here. You got to the place where we're reminiscing tonight. Figured we'd do a little bit of a lighthearted one tonight because next 2 weeks, obviously there's no Gabbin on the Super Bowl. The day after, we'll go over that. That's the prelude show for the fundraiser, and the week after that's the post wrap-up show for the fundraiser. So. Yeah, Glassjaw's rated us. Yep, absolutely. Silent Hunter, you got it, Glassjaws. Thank you, Silent Hunter.
Yep.
I may be going out of order here. I don't want to do that, but let's.
We are like what are we now? Mid early 90s?
No,
or
we're
something
still
like that?
late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s. Okay, yeah, early 90s. Yeah.
This
Bard's Tale. Ooh.
Was cutting edge.
Yeah.
This was in the wizardry style. This was ran on a Commodore 64. I don't know how it ran on a Commodore 64.
I love the graphics. Looks fantastic. Meaning that title thingy there looks awesome. I never played it.
Yeah, that got Tino. This got you into D&D, right? This adventure, this game. I remember the room once you got out of the city and started getting into the higher level stuff. You had to fight. And it was in sets. Remember Tim Howell and Wizardry? There were sets of monsters. It could be 3 ranks of monsters.
Yeah, but I don't. The other games, I remember you guys talking about it, but I don't remember playing it.
This had 3 sets of barbarians, and they were 100 each, or 99 was the max. 3 sets of 99 you had to get through in order to win the fight to go into the next section. So it was a great adventure. A lot of puzzles in it. Classes were D&D based classes. Old school. It was it has updated graphics. Tino, do you like it? Do you like the remake of the Bard's Tale? Did you get on Good Old Games or Steam? Which one did you get it on? So, yep, cool. Yes, the castle in the northwest. Yep, with all the barbarians. Yeah, at the very top, the very last fight, you had to fight like 3 sets of 99. Yeah, and you had to wean through that, and just to get moved on because you had to get the crystal sword, right? There was a crystal sword you had to get. So yeah, the
when did
eyeball
this
monsters.
come out?
This Bard's Tale, I'm going to say is 86. Am I correct on that? 86, 87? It came out at the same time Wasteland came out. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Electronic Arts. Electronic Arts was great then.
Another one that did lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. Now they had 2 sequels. Bard's Tale 2, The Destiny Knight. I played all 3 of them. Crystal Sword killed the Crystal Golem. That's it. Yep, Jack Bull. Thank you. Yep. And then the third one, which was really tough because Magic didn't work at the beginning, right? Magic was Thief of Fate. So all 3 of them. And they remember it was long, flat, it was kind of a neat packaging too. Especially Goddard Dumber Monk spell that basically killed everything. Yeah, that was like Tilt-A-Weight in Wizardry. But when you got guns and Bard, yeah, you did get Bard. You did get guns in the third one. Yeah, the third one was a little off, but it's just like you get down to the first 2 were awesome. So just like Wizardry, but this was great because it was in color. Yes, you had 8-bit graphics in color. And it was just like the Wizardry, same style, which was perfect. That they captured that same Wizardry style. Yes, yeah, I just showed that Crescent. Yeah. And then Crescent Hawk Revenge, the 2 Crescent Hawk ones.
Oh yeah.
The trick to this was that you start in a Chameleon and then a raid comes. A lot of people, Chameleon's a 50-ton trainer mech. You could, if you got off the screen, if you backed out and didn't fight them and got off the screen, you kept the Chameleon. And you start out with a 50-ton mech in your unit. So, first game you ever hacked into, it was hackable. Yep. Gave my mech several AC-20s. Well, I do that now on MechWarrior Online. No, I can't do that. You can't cheat on that. But yeah, Bard's Tale was awesome. All right. Let's go. Oops. I wanted to keep that up. Let's go to an MMO that actually did very well.
Now it must be long into the 90s.
Yeah, this is second edition. I'm jumping around a little bit here.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Dark Sun.
But was this networked MMO thingy?
This is MMO.
Oh, wow. So what year did Dark Sun? Never heard of this one.
My guess on this is 93, 92,
oh, that's
94.
Early, yeah.
Yeah, it was early when Dark Sun came out.
So it was like, but it was not server online. It was more like LAN play. You played together.
It was MMO server.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was.
Never heard of this one. That's cool.
Here's the big hack in it. So we're going back to my crazy Bill friend, not the Bill Master Crafter. Mm-hmm. I was getting into this, and he goes, "Wait right here." And so if you took a bag with all your gear in it, this only got out of the Dark Sun MMO. This is actually the Dark Sun game, and there's the MMO. The MMO. If you continue to drop the bag about 100 times, 1 out of every 100, it would duplicate itself.
That worked in Diablo, Diablo 1 too. Yes, you can drop it, and then you can kill, respawn, come back in, and the money was there, and you can pick it up and all the gear and stuff. You get tons of money that way.
Yeah, yep. It was a full on thing with an entire community with different. Trust me, maybe it came out late. But yeah, I didn't play it that much. I wasn't a Dark Sun fan, so I didn't play it that much. I was playing other things at the time. But I wanted to mention it because varying successing degrees of MMOs are trying to find, and we know what's the one that you go around and you front person's perspective, almost like Eye of the Beholder, or whatever.
First-person shooters.
EverQuest was one of the big ones. So, yep. Dark Sun Crimson Sands was 96. Okay. Yep. Dark Sun, hey, it's not for everyone. All right.
I can understand why if that was 96, I can understand why I wasn't into it, because this thing came out in 1997.
Yeah, exactly.
This was the coolest game ever made.
4.0.
Yeah, this is Falcon 4.0, and it's another beast. And just to show people a little bit, this was serious stuff, and you needed a Pentium to run it. And it came out in late 96, early 97, and it needed a Pentium that wasn't barely invented yet. So I had to wait 6 months before I could get a computer to actually run it, because when it came out, no one could run it because you didn't have the graphics or the computers stuff. And it came with a manual, Cadet's Guide. it's 40 pages, and that's how to basically play the game. And then he came with a communications guide. That's another 40 pages, how to set it up and game to the other ones. And then to understand and actually fly the damn thing, it came with a 600 page manual that weighs like 4 pounds. I kid you not, this is a 600 page manual. It's a declassified thing on actually flying an F-16, and it takes everything and so on. And the coolest thing it actually came with, it came at this, because the theater of operations was Korea. It came with a whole map, an aviation map of Korea.
Oh, that's awesome.
With the bullseye and all of the military stuff printed on it. And now I realize I'm getting old because I can't see the fine print without reading glasses. And back then I had it at my knee pad, and you look at the screen and you look down and you yelled at each other, and we flew like complete bonkers at its time. And this was groundbreaking. And the other cool thing is, this one have been the source code was leaked because microprose ceased to exist,
right?
And it went bust, or something happened in early 2002 or 2003 or something like that, so they stopped selling these. Someone thankfully leaked the whole source code to the internet when Microsoft bankrupt and bust, or they just stopped existing and didn't sell anything. They're back again now at Microprose under new management. So a lot of the old titles, they're back again. But anyway, so that code has been, hackers and fans have been updating this game ever. And I've actually downloaded it and played it yesterday in VR, and it looks almost as good as anything today. And it's still unbeaten. It's the best combat flight sim ever made. And the guy who made this code, he went in for DARPA and worked on some secret whatever afterwards, and we never heard from him since. So whoever did this, it's magic. This campaign is unbeaten.
Programming.
So this exactly is before addiction to Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Well, yeah, Microsoft Flight Sim had been out for 10 years, but it was only civilian and it wasn't that good. The gameplay in this is unbeaten. There's no other flight sim or war game ever to do it so cool. That's this.
The only thing you're missing is the heavy G's, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And now when you fly it in VR, so that was my beat here. Now I talked enough about flight sims. So I'm probably not going to talk about it again.
You need a dragon flight sim.
Yeah, so that was it. So yep.
For everyone who wasn't here,
better than Chuck Yeager.
For everyone who wasn't here the first hour, I came on an hour early to explain Altimira to the Blue Box group who finished up their kids game, where they're 7 years earlier, and they're all children, 10 sessions. So I kind of went over. So I've been on since 6 o'clock my time. Please note George Lexfire, his wife makes these. This is the giveaway for tonight. 4 great coasters and a great mug with all your dice on.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, so Continental US. If you win and you're not, we'll figure something out as far as gift certificates or whatever. Please, everyone's eligible to win something. Please, but that is I don't. Yeah. So courtesy of Lexfire, who George, it's his wife. I think it's a really cool giveaway tonight. All right. Just wanted to let everyone know that. All right. So this is the one. There was a label in the left-hand corner. It said requires 386 with so much RAM, so much, and this thing. I had so many returns on this at EB because no one could get the freaking thing to run. This and Darklands were the two that no one could get to run. This was way worse than Darklands. The graphics on this were ahead of its time. Now there's Ultima 1 through 6 before this. As someone said in chat, 4 on were really good. They were long games. You went to other planets, and which one was that? 5? You went to other planets in the solar system, and one of the Ultimas.
Ultima, is that not a fantasy game?
It is.
Or is it?
It
okay,
is,
and you still go like
portals.
Planescape.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is by Origin. Origin did Wing Commander as well.
Yeah,
all the other stuff.
They were also one of the good ones.
This was a great company back in the day. This game, I delved a ton of time into it, playing it. You played the Avatar, but you also had an adventuring party with you. which was really cool. And you could choose whoever came. So it had an NPC aspect to it. Like the little kid. If you set the little kid off, he'd cry. You didn't want to make the kid cry. So you kept the kid in the so Ultimate Series after 4 started having, it was a long time. Good old Lord British. Yeah.
Ultima, how many, that has been on, I've heard about this game forever, never played it, but I've heard about, is that like a gazillion versions of it?
I mean, they have an Ultima out now, an MMO.
Yeah,
they do have that out now too.
I've always heard about it.
Lord British.
It's like always been there. Yep.
So I love this game, and there was, you could get flying carpet in it. There was Rings of Regeneration. Lord British lives in Austin. Yep, Texas. There's also Magic that ends up in space. Lots of neat stuff. It was tough. It didn't, it was tough to get to run, but the spells were awesome. The spell effects were awesome. Here's the sequel to it, the add-on, basically an add-on, Forge of Virtue. Yep. So now Ultimate 8 kind of was a step backwards. I thought the graphics weren't as good in Ultimate 8. Avatar, and you didn't have your adventure party. It was solo. I hate the solo play. It's like we'll get to it one day, not tonight. Dragon Age, the first one was awesome. The second one was, you played the fighter guy and that was it, right? It just, I hate those step backs. And then the third one, Inquisition's fantastic, but we'll get to that in a future show.
I love that illustration of that sword. Looks fantastic. Yeah.
Dupre, that's Dupre the fighter. So Ultima was great. Now with Ultima came Ultima Online. Now another story. Crazy Bill figured out a way to go to work, program in a macro where his character would sit outside of his house and chop wood all day. Chop wood. And like 1 out of every 100 times you get a stat point or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
So he maxed
everyone
out
used them, Tino says. Right, yeah. So he played this game so much, that Ultima Online so much, he became the head of the Assassin's Guild, the head on the server. Yes. So
wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Zine. I remember Zine too. I never played that one. 2 standalone games combined, another experience. Yeah. Hey, Rich.
I did not have enough time to do that.
No, we didn't. No, I did not. Look, I almost got divorced over World of Warcraft in 2004, so I stopped that after that. So I'm playing Eve. Eve's a big game, man. Eve's huge.
There was some crazy, there was it early 2000s? There was like a craze at work and among friends of mine. They played Eve online like crazy. I never really liked that game, but I loved Neverwinter Nights, the third edition, the black box one we played Drought. That one that got me hooked. First Diablo game and then Neverwinter Nights. I love those games. I play them for hundreds of hours over the years. Yeah.
So Ultima, my experience is Ultima 7 was the best one. I loved it. There is I don't know if any of you know this, but I got taught this and it worked. So there were days and nights in Ultima, and the NPCs were programmed to move through and out. And so Lord British actually leaves the keep, walks out. There's a certain time of the day. If you're evil and he's walking out through an archway, there's a brass plate you could press, which would drop a big block on him and kill him. And then the evil overseer would go, "Yes, Avatar, that's great." So you could kill Lord British in that one, and it did. I tried it, it worked it, but made sure I didn't save it at that point. So you met my wife playing EverQuest. That's awesome. That's great. Hey, video games are they're in our blood. I missed this one.
Yeah, and also, but in the late,
No, go ahead, Anna.
I was going to say in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's when they became social. First, it was a LAN party that was awesome fun when you put together stuff, and then you had when the internet came around and you could start playing things. But I remember the first few years we kind of got together. Even when you played online through the internet, you still got together, bought pizza and played games.
I actually have a picture of Ultima. So this is the guy who got tortured and sacrificed in the thing. See the 4 posts.
Oh dear. That wouldn't fly today, but it's cool.
Yeah, there's the Avatar, and I think that's the farmer. This is early in the game. Yeah.
Yep.
So, very cool. Welcome, Avatar. Yes, you. That's
But graphics were, and you can also be brutal because graphics wasn't that good. So you could depict gruesome stuff. That becomes more of a problem these days when the graphics is so real that then you have to kind of step back from gruesomeness because you can.
Sometimes the extra graphic stuff is less realistic.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get that uncanny
real injuries
valley
don't
effect.
Look the Hollywood way they show. If they want to make it look super graphic, they don't.
Yeah,
they're bad, but they don't look like that.
Exactly, but you get that uncanny valley. First, it looks better and better, and all of a sudden, it doesn't look good at all. Once you get close to realism, but not perfect, then that screws you over more than when it looks cartoony, so to speak.
And sometimes not seeing it much is worse than seeing a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the sickest I ever got was actually in a live Shakespeare. It was because if I was witnessing something happen to someone, it is what it would look like if I was witnessing it. You know what I mean? You don't see anything gruesome, but it was just like, oh.
So for me, Rich, WoW was the one that I learned my lesson on. Star Wars: The Old Republic came out. I loved that game, but I just couldn't sink the time I wanted to into it because of WoW, because I wanted to stay married, So
I played at work and
has
stuff.
not Manchita. I never played that one, so I don't have a reference point on it. So Master Magic, but it probably was
played it. Yeah, we played a lot at work. We played Diablo 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights, and Dungeons and Dragons Online. DDO. Those were the big ones we played.
I think we'll have a series. We'll do down the road on online games. You go more into depth into them.
Yeah.
DDO, I logged onto it once. And I was like, the graphics are after playing WoW, I was like, I want to try something different. But I was like, another one is Lord of the Rings Online. I hear there's a big following on that too, but it's kind of died off.
They were done by the same turbine company. Yeah.
I always find that online games, you also waste a lot of time waiting and synchronizing and getting set up.
You have to have good friends to play with. It's the social aspect needs to be there. Otherwise, it's a lot of waste of time. Yeah.
I finally convinced my son that
you still play Lord of the Rings Online. Cool, Lord, take it over.
That playing a single player game that's like that is better than playing multiple. Especially when you're younger, when the audience is young, because they're usually jerks anyway.
Lomas, my worst DMing, Lomas, was my worst time I was a DM was during WoW. Because I just would run, I'd run adventures that were done already by far. So I understand that 100%.
Same here. Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't do WoW.
Yeah.
No, I played tested WoW, but I got into DDO instead because he was Dungeons and Dragons. I understand the rules and stuff. So
I got a different one.
What's that?
Rome Total War.
Oh my God! I love that game.
When I introduced that to an Air Force pilot, and he told me, he says, Tim, I can't even go to work now. I've been staying up to 3 a.m. for 4 days straight, man.
Yeah.
It's like crack. I can't stop.
And Rome Total War was the first one, and it was the best one.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I like Medieval Total War. The first Medieval Total War I really liked. Yeah. I was a Hungarian kingdom, and I won through assassination. Assassinated all the... everyone else.
No, they were great. It's Sarmatians and the Cretan archers you could buy and all. Yeah, and then you get. I always played the solutions because they got all the different types of. They got chariots and they got elephants and they got the So it was good. Sort of an off-topic question relating to what do you start to stream with? Because what's the demographic? It's not filled with elves. All right, so it's not an elven area. It's not an elven realm, and that's a good question. Hold off on that. When we get done, we're gonna have time. I'll go back to Altimira and I'll tell you about the setup. There's a lot of elves there, but I'll explain. I'll explain the whole area in Greyhawk to you. I promise. Eye of the Beholder, front person attack, right?
Yeah.
With a weapon. That was different.
Those
style.
were cool. You had the stats, and then you had a little window where you walked into it. They were very gripping. I remember. I loved those games
like
a lot.
EverQuest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, they were really cool.
But this is the first one, the Eye of the Beholder series, and more of them came out. And hey, Bill. So we're just talking about how crazy Bill was chopping wood. You missed the chopping wood part, and him taking over the world in Ultima Online already discussion, and him hex editing Neverwinter Nights and all the other stuff that the crazy Bill did. So so Eye of the Beholder was good.
Yeah, that first person perspective was new and to me very engaging, so to speak. I love those types of games.
Let's jump to. I have all. Of course, I have all these books here. Chopping wood, exactly. We talked about the chopping wood. What's this?
Dungeon Hack. I never heard of Dungeon Hack.
Yeah,
Have
Dungeon
you...
Hack was kind of neat
Okay.
too. Dungeon Hack, you could create your own. Absolutely. Yep, Dungeon Hack was cool. I got all these books for all these.
Oh, now we come
Now we're
into
going to get
something.
into
Yeah.
the penultimate of all time in this era of RPG.
Yep.
All right.
I
Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I liked Neverwinter Nights more than Baldur's Gate. I played Baldur's Gate, but for some reason, I just got hooked on it because I had friends that liked Neverwinter Nights so much, and they didn't want to play anything else. So that's why I got hooked on Neverwinter Nights. We were like 3 or 4 of my best friends. We played Neverwinter Nights, and we had so much fun. Yeah.
Neverwinter Nights was more arcadey.
Exactly, and that was the thing. Yeah. So I remember I liked Baldur's Gate, but I didn't have anyone to play with really.
Well,
so yeah.
Baldur's Gate, the first Baldur's Gate, and of course the storyline, Minsk is in that. Okay, they've overdone Minsk. Of course, they abused the hell out of anything with the "I'll go for the eyes, boo," and all that stuff going on now. Just let.
But
Minsk
they were good.
Be.
Yeah,
they're good. But let it be now. Let it go. You don't have to overdo it in the world.
Well,
here.
I didn't understand anything of Forgotten Realms anyway, so that was good.
Yeah. This game. So the first one was good. And you had a lot of NPCs that appear in Baldur's Gate 2. Now, Baldur's Gate 1, though, the NPC interaction, it was okay. It wasn't great. Lots of, it was good characters, evil characters, good storyline.
But they were only single-player games back then, right?
Single player, but you had a full party of characters.
Yes, exactly.
And you create your own character, and you have NPCs.
Yep.
You have a party of 6. Right,
yep.
Is it 5 or 6?
And you can recruit different ones. You can have different parties depending on how you play the story.
Based on alignment and stuff. The Cobalt Commanders appear first in Baldur's Gate, the original, so that was kind of neat.
And you had familiars and stuff like that, so
all
it was
sorts of
really
stuff.
cool. Yep.
6, that's what I thought. The Baldur's Gate 2 is, in my opinion, my favorite RPG of all time. Just the level of, and you know how you know? How much of the shit did I rip off in my campaign?
I don't know.
All right, a ton. All right, and you guys are going to go, oh, that's where it comes from.
And graphics were really good, and the UI and stuff was really.
The graphics were great. The music, the background music was cool in the inns. The characters were cool. The romancing part was cool. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, the romance area here. You could even romance the Dark Elf Viconi if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The classes and the subclasses were all based on kits and 2E, and that gave me a whole slew of ideas. Right? A whole slew of ideas on direction I could go. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we go to Druid, what is that? Whoops, right there. An Avenger. I have an Avenger class now. The Avenger class. I'm going to show something. Oh, you stole that from Forgotten Realms. Oh, here we go. Forgotten Realms. Paladins. Undead Hunter.
Yep.
Inquisitor. Up there, right?
Yep.
Now, yes, Jaheira. The guy who led the team for Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 published a Baldur's Gate RPG book on DM's Guild. Oh, really cool.
Cool.
That's awesome there, Mac.
There's also one other aspect of the Baldur's Gate and the Neverwinter Nights games that I think is really cool that we sort of the coast should learn a thing or two about, is that they don't even mention D&D on the box. There are Forgotten Realms games.
Right.
They are whatever. They emphasize the IP, the story. They emphasize the world, the settings, all the cool stuff. The rule systems are secondary. Meaning, I don't even remember if it was first or second edition AD&D or third or whatever it was. Meaning, the story and the immersive gameplay and stuff. The game mechanics. It's not a D&D game. It's a Forgotten Realms game, and that I think is a mistake that Wizard of the Coast. They should dive much deeper into the lore and the cool stories and less focus on the rule system. In my opinion, yeah.
So, this game, you're thinking of the dragon for each NPC, Curtis, had its own quest to do. The one with the Inquisitor, right? First of all, you throw his own wife in jail, which is really disturbing, right?
Uh-oh.
The lawful good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he caught her. He caught her being unfaithful. So what's he do? He throws her in prison. He's lawful good. You know, Keldor and Fire Cam. That was the quest. You had to kill the dragon to get the +5 Holy Avenger. You had to do it, or you couldn't get his Holy Avenger, and that was a nasty, nasty fight. But each NPC had their own side quests. There's good.
Mhm.
If you mixed good and evil, they went at each other. Like Viconia, the
Mhm.
Dark Elf would go at Aerie, call all sorts of nasty names. It was just,
Yeah, I
I just
played
loved
it
it. So
enough
yeah,
to figure that out.
yeah,
That you had to read the stories and understand things, and yeah.
absolutely. So, and the quest chains were great. And then you could do, like, you could stay in the chapter and you could do all of them and bring characters in or out, and you could re-bring them into the game. Once you they went back to the inn and the Amn or
Mhm.
whatever, you didn't have to worry about it. It just was awesome. And then the little, remember the dome, and you went inside, and it was like you
Mhm.
went in the Dark Sun, actually, in the one part, and the cannibal halflings were in the dome. It was just neat. It was really well done. Check leveling up characters fast to find a nice spot where you get high amount of experience, have it save just before the reward, yet load it, import the characters, get the
Mhm.
yep, exactly. It just was joy. The Baldur's Gate. I'll take a look at that. DM's Guild, Baldur's Gate.
Anyone ever hear of Troll's Tale?
No.
It's on
Nope.
that list of DOS games.
Oh, is it? Wow. There's a lot of them.
I tried to send you Wasteland, the original.
Oh, cool.
Wouldn't
Heroes
let
of
me.
Baldur's Gate. Oh, neat. Oh, so it sets us up as a 5th edition adventure. Neat. And it's in Fantasy Grounds, too. That's cool. It's got
Now
some
we're
nice
waiting
pictures
for
done.
Baldur's Gate 3 to come out. I played
Well, it's
the
still in
early
playtest,
access.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, I played the early access through in
Thanks.
the first 2
Thanks,
years
Mac.
ago or something when it came out, and
Yeah.
it's a really cool 5e implementation, and I think the full game will be kind of really cool. Yeah.
Well, the enhanced editions by Beamdog came out, and they added a Wild Mage, and she was romanceable too, and Garamond, if you knew. I love that they added the Wild Mage. I played that a while, and just all the
Yeah.
crazy effects would happen. So, and they added a couple other characters too. So I really love the enhanced ones that they did. Now, there's also games that were not NPC interactive, and you just played. Icewind Dale and Icewind Dale 2 were like that. Now, the unfortunate thing was Beamdog can never do an enhanced edition of Icewind Dale 2 because the original source code is gone and missing, and no one knows where it is. So they can do, I think they can do the Icewind Dale one, but they can't do Icewind Dale 2. And that's where I learned about a lot of spells like Snowlock, Snowball, Swarm, and other spells I pulled back from Forgotten Realms, is because it was in that Icewind Dale 2 adventure. So, yes, before I knew Ed, let's just say, it's just how things came about. So this is my recommendation for my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
In that time frame. You may disagree. You may differ, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, it goes all the way back to the beginning of adventure and television, and lots of MMOs. I think we should do one on MMOs by itself to keep it separate.
Sure.
Tim, thoughts? Like, you
Nah,
weren't
good
playing
times.
much being in the military.
I did not play much. I was busy. In college,
Yeah.
I was playing a lot more D&D than because that was the mid 80s to 90 is when I graduated. And then did we go into the 90s on these, or is it we just
Yeah,
looking at
Baldur's Gate 2 goes into the 90s a bit.
Yeah, I thought so. I remember
Yeah.
some of that.
Goes
But
into the 90s a bit, yeah.
I don't remember hitting that much. I don't remember playing that much.
I thought you played Wasteland with me a lot though, back before.
I think we did.
You loved it.
I think because it was funny, but I don't
rock.
ever really sat down and play it. So I probably will now, though. I'll probably like
Wasteland it's worth it, even with the
Yeah.
graphics. It's
just some ideas and some of the things they
God, it's
do.
funny. It's so funny.
One of my Army buddies, when Wasteland 2 came out,
Yeah,
he
that's a
got
good
it
one too.
and he was like, "It's good." He liked it.
It is. It's real good, and the humor is dark. Where
But that fits with a bunch of military guys.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's definitely good. So Anna, it sounds like you played some, like Neverwinter Nights was your big
Oh yeah,
jam. Yeah.
Exactly. But it was like those early 10 years I didn't play. I got into video games late 90s. That's when I really started playing games. I did flight simming back and forth before because I was an aspiring pilot, so to speak. I wanted to do the thing, and then I got in the 90s and started to do a lot of it for real. But it was, but so I had my period from about 95 to 2005 was heavy on games. We played a lot at work, LAN parties and stuff like that when we had time over, and we did tons of stuff like that. So we played. I had a lot of friends who play. It was when games became social, when you can play with your friends. So we did stuff like that. I had girlfriends and boyfriends or whatever, and just friends and stuff, and we played like crazy for
Remember some Mech Warrior stuff. I did more Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
I played the Mech Warrior games too, though.
The Mech Warrior Online came out.
What was the one was above you? Battle Mech? Was it Battle Force or whatever? Remember that one? They had.
Yeah, that was yes, that was.
Yeah, they did.
Mech Commander. Mech Commander. Because you were like in satellite imagery, so you're looking down.
Yeah, that
was fun.
Yeah.
Daggerfall has sound effects actually being used in a lot of movies these days. No, I don't. Which one? I don't. Elder Scrolls, right? There's a whole bunch of them that are out there, at this time frame as well. The event, this is like I said, from the direction of my experiences, just what I love to play, because I don't want to go off and talk about something I don't know that well, but so the Death Scream, door opening squeakies, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, we always had our other friend Bill who would play test everything, right? Bill the Master Crafter, he'd always play test it. He'd always play something and go, "This sucks. This is good." But right at that time, when those games came out, the Diablo addiction came, especially when we could LAN party it.
Oh yeah, that was really an addiction for first and second game. They came out fairly quick, and there were expansions in between. So it was like 4 or 5 years where you only played that in whatever time. So yeah, that kind of broke several. There were a couple of campaigns that never got played. Real D&D campaigns due to Diablo for me, and Neverwinter Nights. Yeah, they kind of, there was like 4 years I didn't game at all for real D&D. We just played that stuff.
And it was fun, because that was I want to say I think they had software for the DM's Guide or Monster Manuals for one second edition back in the 90s or so.
When I was in Spain, the online thing I played was with my buddies. We'd play Battlefield or something.
Right. Well, you played World of Tanks for a while and World of Warships, didn't you? Recently? No? I thought you did.
I might have looked at it, but I don't play that.
Okay.
I play Mech Warrior 5. Or so I got the simulator, and I modded it.
I liked recently, like 5 years ago, I liked the BattleTech game that came out where it's all tactical. I like that game too, man. I think that's great.
Right, it's the turn-based one.
Turn-based one.
I've heard that's very good.
It's very good. Love that one.
Even at Gen Con, they have these big mechs you can climb into and play. I don't know if that's proper BattleTech or whatever it is, but
so Chicago had that first, where you got in 4-on-4. And we had one at the Echelon Mall in Voorhees, right, Bill? Remember that? We went there and we'd sit in that thing, and my God, the graphics were terrible, but it didn't. It was like playing in that Battlezone game, but it was cool. It was not cheap, right? Per half hour, hour. So
when I was stationed at West Point, they had the computer lab for the military science had a tank game set up, so you could actually practice maneuver and understand fire control, massing fires, and reading the terrain, all that. And that was good. And there was another one where they would grab one of us down the hall and say, "Hey, we need some Op 4 for this group." So they were they had all the cadets on the in the same room so they could coordinate, and they had us in a different group in Op 4. It was fun to mess them up.
So great stuff. All right, so we still got some time here, 8:25. So let me. Any other memories on computer games? Like I said, I kept it into the mid '90s and stopped there right before I got married.
We can when LAN, for people that aren't old enough, we might have a few people that are not old enough to really played all these LAN parties, but it took a long while to get things set up. It took like 12 hours to set things up in the early days, when you have to build the network and you have to figure things out and configure each machine and
So
it was yeah.
We are Gen X. We went from no computer.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way through to where we're talking to you live stream.
It was like, it was a drug to us. It was like, oh, you could do this. It was like, it was a whole new world opening. Meaning, it wasn't even color TV when I was young. It was like black and white TV was on, and radio was, TV was a new thing almost. Like my parents
antennas on the TV.
Exactly. When color TV came in the 70s, when I was like 10 years old or something, it was like, oh, wow. I was like 8, 9 years old, I think, when I saw color TV for the first time. That was an amazing thing. And cell phones and computers were barely invented yet.
The knob broke off, Tina, right? You had to use pliers.
So when we had computers we could start playing on and do stuff like this, that was simply amazing.
I was my dad's TV remote. Tim, go turn the channel or whatever.
Yep.
Get up, come up. Turn the channel.
And that's, a lot of people say, well, you had the best of both worlds. You remember growing up and going outside and playing and all that. And,
in some ways, I think it is, because we can still appreciate technology in a way, because we can understand and remember, or at least think we remember a world before the digital revolution, so to speak. So, yeah.
I like being able to practice things and do things in real life, outside, physically, whatever. And then so when it enhances playing the game, when I'm imagining what it's like.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of critical hits that are absolutely just ridiculous.
Yeah,
but it would never happen or could.
Yeah, but I think that's a very good point, Tim, because the same thing, I wouldn't be anywhere near as fascinated with flight sims if I haven't flown for real. So when I got into VR now, it feels real to me, because I get the same G sensation, even if I'm sitting in my office chair. I still believe I'm going to, I feel it. So that's the weird thing. It my memory comes back, so to speak. So I keep it alive, even if, and it feels real. So that, to me.
And that's what the young computer generation today is missing, in that the computer, they target people's dopamine responses in their brain, so it messes them up, so they can't enjoy other stuff, and then they don't get a chance. So there's a lot of less. I'm generalizing, of course.
But but there's
missing out. They're missing out, I think.
Yeah. But I also think there's another point to tie into exactly the same thing with young people. There are so many people who do simulation games, driving games, and all sorts of games, and running around and stuff, that they do it in third person. And to me, it's like, no, of course I want to do it in first person. I want to envision it myself doing it. I'm not running around controlling someone else. I'm doing it myself.
I'm really looking forward to getting one of the games I like and getting a VR rig, so that when you are doing first person, you actually have that field of view that's more realistic. That's the problem with most of them. It's like you're wearing night vision goggles all the time. You can only see like that. But having the real field of view is what I'm looking forward to.
So it's slowly getting there, so to speak. And the last 10 years have been, for me, a revolution when it comes to simulation games. So
you before you play those, you should have to put on some tactical gear and then actually run in a crouch with a weapon. At least 400 or 500 yards, and then so you understand what it's like.
Yeah, that you don't hit anything. You don't even the barn wall at 50 yards away, but when you're all tired and
when you could get a Chevelle for under 50 grand.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it is kind of cool, and now I can see a lot of. But we also have a tech backlash now. In a lot of sense too. Back then, it was all positive. It was like, oh, nothing bad can come out of this.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. The way it interplays with people's brains, it gives them that dopamine. It uses up all their dopamine, so now when they try to do something else, they don't enjoy it or have fun with it as much, because it's just not feeding that normal thing that we have that helps us enjoy life. And so, be warned, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, Mac. I think in the Temple of Elemental Evil game, there's a couple of different encounters that aren't. That, it's not verbatim, but it's close.
That's the thing. What year did that Temple of Elemental? I never played that, and I realized I should.
Still have it somewhere.
Okay,
it's hidden away somewhere.
But it was only single player only, right? Or was it?
It was a group, but it was single player. Yeah, it was a group.
It was like Baldur's Gate. I
want to say 92. Is that right? 91, 92? That's a guess.
Antiquita says 2004, but I'm not sure. Oh, that might be something else.
2004?
No, I'm not sure. Yeah. I never played it, so I'm not sure.
No, I thought it was early. TOE was 2003. Holy jeez.
Oh, wow. Yep.
It was buggy as hell.
Yeah.
Wow. I lost it.
I heard about it afterwards, and I missed it. So
you know why I barely played it? WoW was out to started playing WoW.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
And I was in my Neverwinter Nights spree and Diablo spree, so I was caught up in that. So yep.
Mac, I don't think so. I'd have to delve into it. I'm not sure that there was much. Polar Radiance was more like the early 90s.
Yeah, Polar Radiance was early 90s. Yep.
No, Polar Radiance was earlier than that, wasn't it?
Oh, I think it was. I played it on my Amiga, so it must be late 80s.
Yeah, it was 80s.
Yeah, must have been late 80s because I played it on my Amiga
80s,
the first. I played it on my Amiga, and that was like between 84, 85 to 91 or something like that. I had my
Wasteland
Amiga.
was like 84, 85. Wasteland.
You in 88? Okay, yep.
Yeah,
88. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was on my Amiga days. Yep.
Yeah, we all have that stuff.
Not much, but a little bit. Yeah.
I can't even imagine now playing an MMO now with all the other stuff I got going on. I don't have the time. Running 3 to 4 streams a week and all real life job, a son. I just don't have the time.
I'm disciplined.
Okay.
Like, when I do flight simming, I do it like 3, maybe 4 hours a week. That's it, so to speak. So I do like 1 hour, 1.5 hour. Once or twice. That's it.
I forgot about the cow level. That's right, the secret cow level in Diablo.
Oh yeah, and the butcher in the first big monster and stuff.
Fresh meat.
Yep.
Yeah, and they redo him in Diablo 3. They bring him back in the last Diablo that they did. So
but the reskin version, Diablo 2, that is remastered now, it's excellent. It's Diablo 2 with beautiful new upgraded graphics, but it's the same game. So I'm playing through that occasionally. I play like 5 hours a month.
I agree, John.
Maybe.
Too much real gaming going on, and now of all the stuff I'm into,
I
just don't have the time. So
I spend maximum 5 hours of stuff like that per week. That's my limit. Yeah.
All right, a quickie question answer here for. I thought I hit it. I thought there was going to be a tongue rip out. I thought I hit the wrong button, but I didn't.
Tim is here, so he can.
The Altimira question.
Yep.
It's not an Elven city. It's an Order of Ulic city. It's in the county of Ulic, and it pays a slight fee to County Ulic, but it's technically a free city. It's run by its own people. I mean, the county is not in a position to, they want it there. Prince of Ulic is not on good terms with the Order of Ulic going back to day one. Okay.
Because he's an idiot.
You never liked it. None of it. Yes, I made it so that all my players.
Jay always makes his bad guys really, or even some of his good guys, super annoying.
Right. Well, that's good. So you remember them.
Oh yeah.
This is Selene, the Elven Kingdom, Fairy Kingdom of Selene. All these estates are estates in the game from noble and lesser houses of Selene. The Order of Ulic is strongly allied with the Ulic states, particularly the county, the duchy, and Selene, more than the principality. So there you go. So this is the southern tip of Selene. So there's a lot of elves and half-elves in the Order of Ulic, but it's not an elven city. Hopefully that answers the question. Definitely not an elven city, but there's a lot of elves passing through. There's a lot of dwarves passing through because of the mining here. And here's Hearthguard Tower. Thank you, Rich, for putting it into your low road discussion. You and David. Here's Hearthguard Tower. The low road runs right through it. The low road map's on my other computer downstairs, but I should bring that up here. It's close to Selene, yes, very close to Selene. Cowerwood, we know from Mike's research, is actually in Selene, not the county of Ulic. So
yep.
So this is actually.
I moved it over to the right side of the river now.
Yep. So it'll move over slightly, and then a lot of these locations are mine. Whose location is this? Lightning Rod Tower, Tim.
Oh,
Fensig.
Fensig, yes, is spellcast. That's Tim's Wizards location, Lightning Rod Tower. So a lot of this stuff. These Hylorn and Juelite are from Living
LG
Greyhawk.
stuff, I think.
All
so,
the rest in this area in Selene is mine. So there you go.
Lightning Rod Tower and School.
Yes.
And Academy.
An Academy. So Brains came out in
Doing
88.
scientific experiments.
Runes of Mr. came out in 2001. That's the one that came with the adventure in it, in that box set. Came with the computer game and the box set together.
Oh, wow.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had that still. It's probably worth a pretty penny. Yep. So hopefully that answers your question on that as we went over Altimira a little bit earlier. And note we're really excited about all the things going on with it coming up. So,
yep.
All right. Anna, Tim, comments on gaming? Any memories? Anything you want to talk about D&D wise or Altimira wise or coming up? We can talk fundraiser. We can talk about that. Tim, a week from Monday, you can go over some details. But if you want to talk about that real quick, we can. I don't have a banner for you yet on that. So
what are you talking about? You're talking about
your DMing.
My
right?
adventure.
Yeah.
For the fundraiser.
Yeah, if you want to go over that.
It's going to be the reverse dungeon.
Right. Another
legend. It's going to continue, but there's going to be some legends made.
6 a.m. everyone on Saturday. Oh.
6 to 10.
Who's playing the game?
Will Dvorak.
Giant Stop, yes. Alex. Antiquitous.
Yeah. Jonathan. And Icarus.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Bill, Army buddy Bill, who is in the Tale of Rattlebones game. Okay. So, he's and Robert, Phantom NJ.
Yep. So good.
So wow. Yeah, so Bill's the add-on. So it's the original crew plus my buddy Bill.
There you go. Yeah. So that
so he's going to be a newcomer. So if you I don't know if you saw the first one with the reverse dungeon. Those guys played goblins who were conniving, cowardly, trying to one-up each other.
It was a great game to watch.
I watch the video occasionally, and I still laugh out loud. I mean, it
was
crack me up repeatedly. So I will be DMing as the Grim the Ever Mysterious, the Hobgoblin referee for the game, and suiting up with the fangs and everything, and we'll see what kind of legends can be made of those guys.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Bones, if you're on, Darling's away, right? I'm just checking. I think she's away for this week. I think she's back up in Ohio. Yeah. So this is Saturday's schedule. I know we'll go over this all coming up next Monday. And then here is the schedule for Friday. All streams, Phoenix Sea Phantom, Troller Games, Blue Box, Fable 42. And then Sunday, where is it? Sunday, GM Workshop, Wally Hobbit, Blue Box again, and as he does his Tears of Air, start off with him as an adult 7 years later, and then the Gabbin wrap-up show. So, yep, off the sea grant. Okay, thank you, Earl. Thank you. So that's what's going on for that. And if you don't know, my game that Saturday night, Puppets and Then Some, with Ed Greenwood, Luke Gygax, Eric Mona, Darling Creepshow, Stephen Chenault, Little Bones, and maybe one other special guest. You're still laughing, Curtis? Thank you. Even my miserable friend Steve thought it was funny when I told him last night the name of the adventure. It is a bachelor party reference. Yeah, if you get it, you'll laugh. If you're not that old and you don't get it, sorry. But I'm like I said, I'm like Andy Kaufman. If one person gets the joke, then it was worth it for me.
Well, he said 6 a.m. I'm the warrior. I mean, that's only because everyone else can't play at 4 a.m. So that's the only reason we're doing it. It's so late at 6 a.m.
Alex, I can't say because I don't want that person if they can't make it to. Yes, exactly. Nick the Dick. Footlong and then some. You got it right, Von Walker. Yes. Right. But this Puppets is going to be like that. The Puppets I'm running has nothing to do with the Puppets adventure because it's so bad and so tedious. I'm making it my Puppets. The Puppets adventures for 3rd and 4th level characters. I have 6th, 7th, 8th level characters running around.
My puppets.
Yes, yes, your puppets too. So I gotta make it so that it's got a little bit of a flair to it. And wait do you see the minis that Buildmaster Crafter's painting for it? So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a fun time amongst all the other stuff we're doing. Oh, what I do with it? Well, I have some surprises too. I have at least one puppet that's not in the original adventure. It's from Legend, a legend of one of the greatest movies of all time. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Puppet movies?
Is a version. Puppet. No, it's better. When you see it and know it, and when you see this thing come out, you're gonna laugh your ass off. I don't want to give it away. No, Highlander
No,
2: The
you shouldn't.
Quickening. No. Oh my God. It's just no Chucky.
All right,
It's
we
better
gotta
than
ban him.
Chucky. It's better
have to
than Chucky.
We have to ban him for that.
Yeah, it's so better. No, it's better than Gremlins. It is from one of the most iconic things of all time. So I'm not. I gotta wait. You're gonna have to wait.
Iconic things of all time.
Well, it was so awesome in its day, and then you'll get it. You'll get it then. So sit tight. Sit tight. I'm not giving it up.
I bet I know, but I'm not gonna say
You're
it.
not saying anything, Tim. No.
Yeah,
So
I know.
cannot wait. All right. So Anna, what do you think? What do you think?
Well, it was a great discussion, and not so much from my part, but to take part in.
Awesome, Bill.
And because it brought back so many memories and stuff, and now I have a few games I need to see if I can download, get the versions like Neverwinter Nights, just touch it again and see if it's fun, because Diablo the remastered one, it's kind of cool, so I'm playing through that, but it takes forever, so we haven't played that many hours, but occasionally it's something I want to do, like once a week or something like that, to have like a game night or something, a few hours per week. That's my allotment that I can allow myself to do, but it's fun. So yeah. So I in that way I got into gaming when I was older, not so much when I was younger. So I was in my mid 30s, late 30s when I got into gaming. So yeah.
I did that. Jay hit something. There we go.
Yep. So that was fun. And also I have to say I'm so sorry we didn't have our game. We got canceled last minute this morning because we only had 2 players, and so our rule is that we game if there's 3, but not if there's 2. So when we had lost half the party or more, that we don't play. So then that came late due to some family emergencies and stuff. So but hopefully we can be back next week instead of in 2 weeks. Yep.
So Kier, if you're new, this is Anna Meyer's map for Greyhawk that she's done over 20, 30 years, built up, customized for my campaign.
Yeah, it's over 20. It's 25 years now. So yeah.
So and it's available. And if you want to put some links in.
Oh yeah, it's annabmeyer.com.
Kara, please, if you would follow the stream, we'd really appreciate it. And here, let me. This is Anna's Patreon. I mean, Anna does such wonderful work. And you can get the Greyhawk map free. Her content is free, but Patreon you get stuff early and all the. Oh, I forgot, Anna. Can you link the Crockport Herald you did from Dungeon Meister? Oh my gosh, I just saw that.
It's for patrons only, but you can get a sneak peek on the website. It will come for everybody in like a week or so.
You know what? Let me see if I can find my email.
Oh yeah, you could probably
Patreon.
you could probably
put it up there. Give me 1 second here.
Yep. So link it in there. You can find it there. So download it.
Well, I'm gonna.
You can just go to my webpage and people can see it from. I don't have a link to it more than. Okay. There you go. Perfect. There you go.
Yes. So we were talking the other night about IUs, and then you saw the Crockport heraldry that Dungeon Meister had on the picture that he had, and then so Anna did the Crockport. Oh, okay. Well, Taryn, I got a new laptop, so thank you. I got it. I got a scratch and dent. I always get the scratch and dents. They're brand new. I can't even find anything wrong with it. There's like a scratch on the bottom. on the freaking bottom of it. Who cares? So I got like
Yeah.
a ton of money off of it.
Someone
So-
opened the box.
Yeah,
and
it's just well,
yep.
you know.
Mhm.
So thank you, Taryn. So yeah, and there's a simple So I was just like
The simple version
that's sharp.
and the yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Taryn. Thank you very much. It's a really sharp version here you got. So I love that you did that, and I gotta get that downloaded. So, but
Yep.
yep, very awesome.
It will
There.
be included in the next major update of all the heraldry, and you can get it in a couple of weeks. It will be available for everybody. So yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So let me do some quickie shout outs here. Tim, what do you got going on, man? You got anything exciting?
Getting ready for the
Sure.
Legends, but I'm also getting ready for the follow on in the springtime sometime when we get the city state back running.
Yes, thank God.
Little preview.
Oh, cool! Look at that.
Oh.
Preview of what's going on. I'm not done painting that one.
Mhm. Looks
That's
awesome.
one of the small fleet that's
Awesome.
available.
By the way, so my character Dervilli is a 13th level Cavalier.
Who
Lawful
got
neutral.
who was tasked by the Overlord to head to solve a pirate problem.
Yeah, and considering now that she's
once she fires
Countess.
the current commander, she's got to replace the current commander.
Oh, great! I'll replace it with Gorbag, the controller. Make it easy.
Well, there's a whole the next game will be mostly getting ready to go because
Awesome.
you can't just abandon everything now. You guys have cities and towns.
I
and
know it's a lot.
things.
Management sucks in D&D.
And of course, Grin has to basically visit,
Yep.
Shitsford, her new holding.
Schitt's Creek, I thought it was.
No, Shitsford
Oh,
is near Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, Shitsford, like Oxford, but it's Shitsford.
Yeah, great. So that'll be good. I also I'll do another announcement at the end. It's something that's momentous coming up this year too. So, but yeah, Tim, that's awesome.
And my son rolled up some more characters yesterday, and he came across some names, and now I have the next name of Hugo Stiglitz's next undercover name and his musical stage name. So,
oh boy, that's
so it's
awesome.
Gonna be good. Yeah, so it was a hoot and a holler, and he's getting more interested in it.
And we talked about that as well during the Harby thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yep. Shout out, Will.
I also got my hard copy.
There you go, Will.
Wicked Studios. It's way thicker than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's a lot of material. I just didn't realize. Like, wow, it's nice. I like it, and that'll also be used in the future underdogs. They're going to have to do a little stop there.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's funny. Yes, we will. Yeah, Hugo. So Hugo Stiglitz is the son's name, and Crystal Iron's the daughter's name for Tim's characters. Children, Skeeve, and Lady Valencia Page, and so they hide out all over. And if you remember during the Michael Baton Wars early on, a lot of you were not part of that. Probably like the second year we were streaming. He was there and he had a band, and he brought the band, and they all had red out to the beach.
The band was called Red Shirts.
The Red Shirts. He brought the band out on the beach. I don't even remember this. The whole group, and they got in a fight with the longshoremen, and boom! And someone fireballed and killed the whole band. The whole band died right on the beach right on the docks in Harvey.
Characters ran away. They left.
Yeah.
They have strict orders from their parents on what they need to do when there's a crisis. So people who are expendable leave.
They're known by. They always have aliases. So he goes, look through. Yeah, it's a great resource. I have mine right here. Plus, thanks to Will, we have at least 4 of these as complimentary gift giveaways for the fundraiser as well. I think I have over 70 giveaways this year. Yeah, we'll talk about them a week from Monday on the next Gabbin. All the stuff like we do, all the great stuff that we have to give away. Just a ton of stuff. It's fantastic this year. Well, cool, Tim. I appreciate you coming on tonight. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. Thank you so very much.
I haven't been that well recently. Actually, I'm a little bit under the weather.
Well, I hope you.
And then my family is upstairs. Are like, oh, I don't feel well, so I'm not sure how tomorrow's going to be.
looking either. Are you off still? I'm
off. Yeah, I'm have to do that whole quarantine thing for a bit. So.
Oh, jeez.
But I also have been on my special diet, so I've been losing some weight. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, definitely. I got to start. I got to start really cranking.
First 3 weeks, I lost 21 pounds.
Really?
Whoa.
Wow, that's awesome.
My feet feel better. A lot of aches went away. So I'm. It's my goal's 50, so I can get back down to my fighting weight.
Good.
And then Anna won't call me. Tell me I look fat in my armor. So that's
that's awesome. Really cool.
I did look fat.
But that was because the armor was made when you were a
no matter what.
less. Yeah.
No matter what, Gambison and chainmail makes you look heavier.
Yeah, you can't hide anything in stuff like that. So,
but I was fat. Yeah.
No, you weren't fat. It was just that you looked fat in that armor. So yeah, that is awesome.
All right, I got to do some first aid over here. Speaking of sick people, I have a looks like vomiting kid over. So I'll
talk to you soon, man. Have a good one.
To you later.
I don't, Phantom. I don't know. I have these. So yep, I can hear it in the background. So, woohoo! That was good for Tim to hop on. Anna, what is going on with you?
Well, there will be, let's see here, during the week. We haven't decided the topic for Legends Lore yet, so we have to figure that out for Wednesday. And there will be a ton of Photoshop doing during the week. So I will render out Altimira stuff and work. So in the beginning, I will do mostly Shieldlands stuff the first couple of days, 2 days before I got the Altimira stuff rendered. But I'm also going to write a couple of blog posts that I have neglected that I need to do. One of them is I want to write about my gaming setup, how I run my games and how I use tools like Obsidian and stuff like that. So that's something that I want to write. And I also got a bunch of cool heraldry suggestions from one of my top patrons. So I'm going to look into that and the provincial heraldry. I want to do more provincial heraldry, both for Shieldlands and for Fortundi, that I will use for my campaign, so that I'm looking into as well. And there's, but it's basically Photoshop, and so to speak. And my campaign map will hopefully get some love and get a new home on the internet, so I can share that too. So that is the immediate stuff coming, so to speak. So yeah.
Awesome.
And the template for doing heraldry. So my top patrons will get a template to doing heraldry. I just need to put a little bit on how to use it too, a little bit. So I'm good to do that right up too as well. So anyone can use that Photoshop. And also there is an Greyhawk. Yes. And there is also an update that merch is coming. Yep. So I saw some videos that Noble Dwarf Mark sent me from Noble Dwarf, where he started printing the first t-shirts, and they looked really cool. So he's going to send them to me, and if I like them, they will go up on his merch store. So there will be, and so I will start with a couple of t-shirts and stuff with my logo and Greyhawk logo and stuff on it, and as a start. So if you want to support me a little bit, then you can go and buy a couple of t-shirts. There will be more stuff, heraldry on mugs and a whole bunch of stuff. So we start out with the most obvious ones and set it up, and once it's the store, we can add more stuff to it, so to speak. So yeah.
Anna, thanks. I'm sorry that I went on spur of the moment to catch John's read to talk about the Altimira stuff. Yeah,
but that was no problem. And I'm sorry I hugged the discussion with Flight Simming.
No, that was awesome.
I'm still doing it, so to speak. So
this show was about a reminisce of those days that formed a lot of our childhoods and into college, playing these RPGs, which further gave the love of D&D to me. I mean, so that's the way I look at it. I mean, I loved the games. And like I said, Baldur's Gate 2 really had an effect on me in a positive way for what I do in my Greyhawk campaign. So, becoming Canadians, no. Sorry, Patrick, I can't do that. I'm sorry. We need Death Knight shirts.
Okay.
Can't do Death Knight shirts. Joe Manganiello has all those.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can put the Death Knight heraldry or something on shirts with some skulls or something. We can see. Yeah,
that could be done. Yeah, but remember, the Death Knight, he has the rights to do Death Knight shirts from WotC. So
exactly, we can't use the WotC stuff. Yeah, no, we can't.
I don't have any idea what Geo's
geostationary. Longitalis, Rich, he can describe that.
Oh,
Even
okay.
I understand the basics of it. So yeah.
Is that Spelljammer stuff?
No,
Oh.
that's the orbit that some satellites use. If you want to keep the same spot over the Earth, you need to have a special geosynchronous orbit and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But balloons seems to be more of the fad this week.
On a live soldier, yeah. He just got. I know, it's really ridiculous, but you know, even Gary Hoyne's like, that's my Death Knight, and he's selling the shirts. Remember all that? So
yep.
Well, I don't know if I should even go there at GaryCon, because Joe will be there at GaryCon this year too, along with a lot of other people. We're really excited, about that. All right, so here's what's going on. Let me do that. We have no idea what we're doing. So here, at least I did about TBD for Wednesday night.
Exactly.
We'll figure it out.
We need to talk to Mike. He's the big wizard when it comes to the brains on this operation, when it comes to come up with new topics. Yeah.
Because the week after, we know we have Living Greyhawk Grand March.
Yeah.
Right? The
and
week after that,
Super Bowl or
no, that's the week
during
after
the
Super Bowl, right before the fundraiser.
Yeah.
Right, the week after that. Right. The week after that, I am in Texas for work, so there will be no Legends of Lore that Wednesday. So there'll be 2 more Legends of Lores on a week off, because I will be in Texas, in Dallas.
So next week we have to come up with something, and then we have Living Greyhawk.
Then we're off then we have to come up for something for 3 more weeks. We continue the adventure, Nightmare of the Aber Owls, with the Hiltless Swords out of Hardby on Thursday. So, and that'll be the last adventure I have on the table before fundraiser adventures. Okay, that'll be Thursday, Nightmare of the Aber Owls. Then the next week, no Gabbin during the Super Bowl on Sunday, none. But Monday night will be the Gabbin Prelude Show Mega Stream events, Gabbin, where we go over the giveaways, all the DMs, and some special guests come on and discuss what they're doing. I have the people who have confirmed. Our Darling has confirmed. John at Blue Box is confirmed. The people from Greyhawk Reborn have confirmed. Wally Hobbit, Jimmy Duffy, Prayers Rejects is confirmed, and Rob Phantom's confirmed as coming on. A couple of the others, I think Phoenixi will be able to come up for like 5-10 minutes because he's teaching. And a couple others can't make it, but you know, so that will be
a great show.
That'll be they're always great. Show all the stuff. You get an idea of what the streams are, the schedule. You know, that'll be a great lineup of scoundrels. Now I added something for the fundraiser. If you weren't on earlier, I talked about it a little bit, but I did add the following. We're not playing a normal game the Thursday. The fundraiser starts that Friday morning. Well, okay, we're going to start it Thursday night. So my game Thursday night will be the kickoff event for the fundraiser. It's going to be an old school, open character, high level adventure, number 989, just titled Revenge. I'm not going to tell you. If I tell anything else about it, it'll give it away. So we have a 16th level Cavalier, 18th level Thief, who you played with, Leuven, Tim's character. Hey, Mandy. High level characters, all my players, they all get one character. We have a dual class archer mage. We got some nasty characters coming into this.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a fun time. Hey, Mandy, good to see you. And that will be Thursday night. And that donations are open now, by the way. If you go down and click on, if you click on this, wait a minute, I'll just link it. If you click, it is open. We already had $140 without even really pushing it. We already have $140 in donations. There is the link to the Tiltify. It is up. You can donate anytime you want. You can put it in anonymous if you want. We'll see. It depends on my mood that night, but it's going to be just a fun one-shot high level, and that'll kick it off on Thursday. And then if my game, as we said multiple times, Saturday night main event, puppets, and then some. Look at that crew. And like I said, we may have one other super special guest. So I don't think I've ever had Ed, Luke, and Eric in one game together. Oh my gosh. Awesome. It's going to be hysterical.
Yep.
Yes. You're not skipping. No, Bill, it's too late to skip. This is your penance. This is your punishment. It's your punishment. You don't have the lowest level character. Tom's got a 9/11 fighter mage. You got 12 level character. You're fine. Yes. So there we go. That's gonna be a fun time. One or two of my guys may come into this and play as well, and but we'll see. Tim will be there too to help me with that. You're curious about puppets? Puppets, terrible. I have puppets and then some. So there you go. So also, Builder Master Crafter who's on, is custom painting 11 miniatures that are freaking hysterical for this thing. Wait do you see them on the table? I mean, it's gonna make it, including Freddy McKrueger, the evil leprechaun from the original Puppets, and he's not a puppet; he's a leprechaun. So yeah, so it's a fun time. So you heard me on the How Not to DM podcast. Thank you, awesome. So Frank, thank you. So here's some discords for you.
It was a good one. I listened to the show too. It was a good one.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There is the Cannon Fire Discord. Okay, I'll get you into a real great chat, people. Here's our Greyhawk Events Discord. It's kind of my Discord, but it's for the community. That's where all the fundraisers go. That's where all the cons we do. There's some other things, the Len Kafka Archive and other things are going on there. And then Greyhawk Online's Discord, if you want to get in that one, you got to go through the Greyhawk Online website. So there's 3 of them. But Franco, please feel free to join. This community is a great community. Everyone is nice. And like I said, if you've ever been around, I'll be at GaryCon. I'm doing multiple events. With Anna, I got so much going on there. I'm running a game for Ed Greenwood, Eric Mengi, Anna, Andrew Veliscus, and Bill Meinhardt, and maybe one other person there. And we're gonna live stream. I'll be live streaming every day from GaryCon too. So there's a lot going on. But it's good. It's good to see that you found us through there. Yep, I'm very, very happy to see that. So that's what's going on here. This fundraiser, we need to surpass $20,540. To beat last year. We've beaten last year, doubled the previous year almost every year. So we're not doing 40. I said this, that we're not doing $40,000. But if we can surpass last year, that would be great. So I know some of you have been holding back, waiting for this. And we'll go over all of the great gifts. I have literally Jeremy from Gamescape has stepped up. If you got a 3D printer, he's opening up his old Kickstarters, the entire Kickstarter, all 4 of them for choice as a donator gift, and some of them are worth like $180, $200. I mean, great stuff. He's giving us like $1,000. It's a plus. He gave me that signed. If you haven't seen this, one last time, here's some 2 great things I got from the community, from Uncle Fuzz, for a gift donator. Remember, it goes in order of donated. Hired donator gets a gift choice. This is a 1st or 2nd edition World of Greyhawk lithography folio.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
they are hard to find.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. This looks like a player's handbook. This is from Jeremy Gamescape 3D. It is signed by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. Both. This is probably going to be going first, right? So there you go. These are just some of the things we got. I'm going to have a joint dual signed copy of Howard and Hools, all the Ravensrook books, stuff from Reaper, stuff from Stratagem, Gamescape, Infinite Dimensions, Cave Geek Art. I got multiple more prints of his map. 6. See those tubes back there? 6 Larry Elmore signed prints, including some of my favorites like Aveline the Healer, Death of Sturm. Some legendary stuff. He 6 of those prints that Larry Elmore donated. We got a lot going on. I am excited.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, great night. 3 hours of streaming tonight on a Gabbin. So
wow.
Started at 6. So got with the raid, and Mandy, hope your streams are going well. There you go, Mandy. Check you out. Thank you so very much. Kick off the week Wednesday, Thursday, Monday the next week because of the Super Bowl. So it's good to see everyone, and note we got a lot more content coming here. Thank you all. Let's do the giveaway.
Yep.
Remember, it is a courtesy of. It's going to come up sideways on here when I throw it up. It's George's wife's made these. Really cool. One winner will get this. I will need your full name and full address. Okay, if you're outside the continental U.S., we'll work something out for this. So it's going to come right from George. Okay, right from Lexfire. So that way we don't have to double ship. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like these, throwing these in and having some fun and just chatting up stuff. It's good to have some memories. All right, here we go. Let's see who wins this tonight. Ready? Closing this out. Thank you. Lord Fourth.
Oh,
Congrats.
Congratulations. Yep.
Let's make sure he's on. I think he's on. Lord Fourth is on. I probably have it again, Lord Fourth. Just put it in whisper because I've sent you some stuff. Full name and address. I know I have it, but just once again, you know what? Let me check when we whisper. All right, sit tight, everyone. Let's find someone cool to raid into. I know Darling is away, so we normally raid into her. I got you, William. I got you. I got your address. I got your address. I got you. I just saw it. No problem. I'll get that to George. How about GM Jeremy? He's old school too. He's Old Men Rolling Dice on Instagram. He's a good guy. So go in and check that out. Thanks, Curtis, and thank you all. Anna, thanks a lot. We'll see you all. See you all Wednesday night for a topic that we'll come up with soon. And let's see if I hit a wrong button here. Everyone have a good night. See you soon.
Yep. See ya.
That was the wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. There we go. All right. Here we go. Raiding into DM Jeremy. Thanks for all the follows tonight, and all the support, and all the thank you, Troy, for all the gift subs. He's DMing. Yeah, that's cool. Do with Jim Jeremy. Let's get over 90. That would be awesome. There we go. Yeah.
Oh wow.
92. Yep. 94. Awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say hi to him and have a good one. See you soon. This will be nice.
94 is a great one for just being a Gabbin with no special guests or anything.
Awesome.